Ya me way me free more. Yes, so feed your man. You trauma na man. You can't tell me come me so sad. Give me ye dawa brabo mu. So mo ye Swaba faswa mami Samini msaube ya meseya Ankame suda Mini msaube ya meseya Eja kamanga senti ya oda Meseya da ya ide Asi Ede Ifi mi wane mwina Mende medasyo Afọdie mi yiye Eswaba faswa mami Minim so me say Anka me riri Na minim so me shemi manabu sudia Anka magasenti ya oda Mesi masina sado Adawa ya mure me free more. I'm a near come we. Ya me way me free more. Yes, so feed your man. You trauma na man. Ya can't tell me come me so sad. Me ye dawa brabo mu. So mo Swaba fa swama mi. Samini mso beye meseya. Akame suda. Beni mso beye meseya. Eja kamanga senti ya oda. Meseya da ide. Asi ede. Ifi me wana muina. Ede me dasyo. Afodia me swaba fa swama Menu so me say Anka me riwi Na me so me shami manabu sudia Anka maka senti oda Me si masina sado Ado ya mure
Asida. Blessed morning from Papalo Radio. Streaming live on www.modernghana.com, onlineradiobox.com. It's a beautiful Thursday on the 8th of June 2023, the year of our Lord. It's a rainy morning right here in Ghana, specifically Tema, the harbor city. This is Mpɔtam Morning Show with Papalo Perfect. I'm going to be with you from now till 10 a.m. GMT. Which part of the globe? Good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, wherever you are. I salute you. Go ahead and praise the name of the Lord. Magnify the name of the Lord. On Mpɔtam Morning Show, we inform you, we entertain you, and we educate you. We give you the best. Today we have a lot on the table. May God help us to serve you well, and may you receive the information and education in good faith. And above all, entertain yourself. Put on your dancing shoes, praise the name of the Lord, magnify the name of the Lord, give God some crazy praise, magnify his name. A lot is happening in Ghana, the political front and the entertainment front, the religious front, and in social and cultural issues. I'm going to inform you, Papalo Radio, we're building community. We'll build a community with you. The best is yet to come. May God keep you and protect you. Go ahead and praise the name of the Lord. David said, your word have I hidden in my heart, that I may not sin against you. Go ahead and praise God. Magnify his name. Show produced by GH. My co-host David Santos. Give to Yanane, part of the team, a great team player. Alright, so right where you are, praise the name of the Lord. Magnify the name of the Lord. God is good all the time, and all the time the Lord is good. May God help us. The devil is a liar. God has lifted up our weights. Our yokes has been broken. By the reason of the anointing, the yoke on your head will break into pieces, into irreparable pieces. I am fired up this morning, full of life, full of power. God is good all the time, and all the time the Lord is good. God keep you and protect you. God elevates you. All right, so let me quickly acknowledge our sponsors for this wonderful program. This all-important program, one of the best in Ghana. Nana One Shoes, they are into sales of all kinds of shoes for kids and adults. Their shoes is of good quality. Nana One Shoes can be located at Community 11, directly opposite Community 11 School Complex. Call or contact Nana One Shoes on 0256 836112 0256 836112. Nana One Shoes, their shoes is of good quality. When it comes to photography, one name stands tall: Shabba Rich Photography. Shabba Rich Photography. They are into all kinds of photography, passport size photograph, photo shoot for all events, your wedding, your engagement, your birthday parties, and naming ceremonies. Contact Shabba Rich or 0244671593, 0244671593. Shabba Rich Photography. They are located at Community 11, adjacent the Presbyterian University, Tema Campus. Contact them and they will give you the best of shots. Now, when it comes to poultry and pigs, Papa Law Farms stands tall. Contact Papa Law Farms on 0243446455, 0243446455. Papa Law Farms. Contact us for your chicken, your eggs, and your pigs. Will give you healthy pigs and chicken. God keep you and protect you. Come and run business with us. Our doors are always open. We do nationwide deliveries. Now let's go to balloon decor. When it comes to balloon decorations, the only name that comes to mind is Lottie Law Balloon Decor. Lottie Law Balloon Decor. They are into all kinds of balloon decorations. Call on them when you are having your weddings, your engagement, your naming ceremonies, your parties. They can wrap your gift and stuffs for you. Contact Lottie Law 0542371320, 0542371320. Lottie Law, perfection is their hallmark. Now when it comes to chicken, the only place to be is Kwedu Farms. Kwedu Farms. Omoton broilers, omoton layers, omoton different types, baby. Omo white, omo brown, ope white, omo de bema, ope brown, omo de bema. White chicken, no, a year 14 Ghana cedis. 14 Ghana cedis. Brown, a year 13 cedis, 50 pesos. Cockerels, no, omo white cockerels, they be and no 2 cedis. Brown and so a 5 cedi 50 pesos. Plymouth no the amena na friend check and we have 5 Ghana cedis. Sasso Bears, and no see a 9 cedi 50 pesos. Kwadu Farms, Oshisho, or Machida Kwaya, or more Tantra Hills, Benade Bia, or more Bioma Point towards a bra, ne any omumedija. Omo Moano, Omo Fa Nase, Omo Kokon, Omo Fefi, Ivory Coast, almost a nationwide delivery. Nati, almost say a fee January 1st, Equipim 31st December, any day, so pay Akukatoa, Omo Bemo Biato. Don't be a seasonal farmer, and train at a certain season and sana. Why yen cocoa anytime be out akoko atono yen no omo ho at the mount. Obetuma Fred Kwadu Farms was 0245 99 quadruple 0 and now 0245 990000. Obetuma from or ahomatrofo way so. And also yes 0243 502811 0243 502811. Kwadu Farms, they are the best. Oboniti seme lebra ayadum na mojedi efrusani techa madabodwi. 55 minutes on top of the hour, 6 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papalo Radio. 5 minutes to 7 a.m. GMT. God keep you and protect you. May the hand of the Lord rest upon you. May God touch you. May God elevate you. What a God we serve. May God keep you and protect you. May the finger of God rest upon you. May the grace of God that surpasses all understanding come afresh upon you. May God keep you and protect you. May the hand of the Lord rest upon you. May God touch you. Thank you for tuning in. Papalo Radio, building communities together with you. Straight up, don't crooked up. Alright, so let me give you the weather forecast for today. Coastal Ghana will remain cloudy this morning with a rain of varying intensity. Brighter conditions are expected later. The rest of the country will have a bright start. A few areas within the middle belt will experience rain in the evening, says Ghana Meteorological Agency. GMET. Let me take it again. Coastal Ghana will remain cloudy this morning with a rain of varying intensity. Brighter conditions are expected later. The rest of the country will have a bright start. A few areas within the middle sector will experience rain in the evening, says Ghana Meteorological Agency. God is good. Shot fired, fingers crossed. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from every evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen and amen. Forever, O God, thy word is settled in heaven. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. When the righteous runneth into, and when he enters, he is safe. Now let me give you the headlines for today. News that are making headlines in our various news portals and newspapers or dailies. I am not complicit in the illegal mining trade. Professor Frimpong Boate, he said, I was invited by the OSP, Office of the Special Prosecutor, and I was arrested right there. He said he felt victimized. This is what we call political anarchy within his own party. They are chasing him left, right, center. He said he he's being victimized and his life is on the line. He's been receiving death threats since this whole issue started. Why he keeps you around even if he doesn't want a relationship. This will be one of the topics we'll be discussing very soon. One of these days, we'll discuss this topic. Some men will not release you, yet they are keeping you. And you are gradually becoming the next Methuselah in the making. God have mercy. So we'll have experts to speak to this subject. Why he keeps you around, even if he doesn't want a relationship. It's been happening. A lot of women have a lot of story to share. I'll give you the opportunity for you to share your view, your thoughts about this particular subject. Now let's go back to the headlines. Woman dies after eating poisoned chocolate sent by her ex-boyfriend's jealous lover. Ex-boyfriend's jealous lover. I was so good here. Ex-boyfriend's jealous lover. Anyway, be an any none. Maybe I know him say the former boyfriend jealous, the jealous boyfriend lover. God have mercy. God keep us and protect us. May the hand of the Lord rest upon us. May God keep us and protect us. Rwanda President Kagame, Paul Kagame, sacks military top brass. They are the high-ranking people who take decisions in the military. Tunisia black women, my skin color says I don't belong. In other words, I don't feel that sense of belongingness because I'm black. I'm a black Tunisian. I like the fact that people are beginning to know who they are. Life is not about the pigment of your skin. Making it in life is not whether you are black, white, or Hispanic or whatever. It's all about what is in you. Nigerian state cut working week to 3 days. I did my job. I tried to make Ghana a better place. Professor Frimpong Boateng. Frimpong Boateng is making all the headlines today. God have mercy. Burning changes. Burning champagnes. That's right. Burning champagnes alone would not halt illegal mining. Professor Frimpong Boateng again. Our mission was successful until big men, big people sponsored companies started doing whatever they want. Our mission was successful until big people sponsored companies started doing whatever they want. Interesting Ghana. Operation Galam stop. Just say Galam say must stop and all that. Interesting Ghana. God help us. So all this period you guys were doing well until big people, who are the big people, name them and shame them. Mpɔtam morning show. Yabani yaba. Yabema Ghana for information. Ya educate you, ya entertain you. AKUFO-ADDO is not petty. My relationship with him is still cordial, says Professor Frimpong Boateng. Why is this man having all the headlines today? FDA engages market women on food safety. FDA, that is all you know. When people are poisoned, when people are taking in things that are unhealthy, that's when we know FDA exists. Food and Drugs Authority, do your homework. One fine gentleman I love so much, a great entrepreneur, is Ibrahim Mahama. Ibrahim Mahama donated 500 bags of cement to Presec 1998 year ago. Wow. I didn't get the protection I needed for my difficult job. Professor Frimpong Boateng. Hey, now what by more than one can win, Papa? I catch you. Once what's me yet then one can at the right time. Not what my seminar say, okay. eye den se nipa bejo de na to because sabri atrofo ne de ne nso be ye te se eye no kware and wo de ne nso be se eye no kware e be take time. God help us. MPP and NDC take campaigning and say not the next level. Don't forget the MPP has elected their candidate for this by-election in Asenot, slated on the 27th of June this month, 2023. I feel victimized. What wrong have I done in this country? Professor Mpɔtam Boate. Green Ghana, about 70% of trees planted in 2021 and 2022 survived. Deputy Lands Minister. Are you guys sure? Green Ghana, Ghana so dey hu aniko mu wa no makofa bia ba. Ye twa dey mbesa dey aba. God help us. God keep us and protect us. Driver and mate narrowly escaped death as sprinter bus submerges in Ochrekon River. Complaint against Mpɔtam Boate must be serious for OSP to treat as a suspect. And finally, he's been treated as a suspect in this case. A lot of money that went waste during this interministerial committee. E wana krono no e shasi. Wana krono ne konso pa. Na bisiu o ho. Bisiu o ho. Ono na na da no. Announce crack capture no. No sa asem no Ghana ko si say. God have mercy. Complaint against Mpɔtam Boate must be serious for OSP to treat him as a suspect. Samson Ladi Anyenene. Let's collaborate to halt climate change. Let's collaborate to halt climate change. Lands Minister to academia. Our focus in Ashanti region is to increase votes. Sami Jemfi says so. Green and Blue Festival delegation calls on Pope Francis to help mitigate devastating effects of climate change. Two in custody for assaulting ECG official. And they say you top power na mumfa maya na yana ufele say. Incoming Chief Justice told to ensure court rulings are enforceable. Be consistent on social media. Digital marketer tells business owners. Yate. Kwame Daxi. Save Ghana actors guilt from dying. We are determined to defend the Asen seat. Mustafa Bandu, Deputy Secretary for the National Democratic Congress. Asen not by election. MPP elect Charles Opoku as parliamentary candidate. Ken must go. Hashtag Ken must go. Today I'm going to start my own. Hashtag Ken must go. Ken Oforiatta, the current finance minister, must go. That was the promise by the government. His Excellency Nanado AKUFO-ADDO. He promised the 90-something MPs that they should allow Ken Oforiatta to work because Ghana is already at the IMF seeking the $3 billion US dollars loan from the IMF. So they should allow him to complete that tax. Now he's done with the tax, and hashtag Ken must go has hit the social media and traditional media. Ken must go. Entire caucus will have to take a decision on finance minister. Majority leader Osei Mensa Bonsu say so. New report reveals. Over 90% of households without toilet facilities resort to open defecation. Interesting Ghana. Net enrollment in basic schools decline. ISSER report. Our pass. Might be year. If you know me, Cash snatcher jailed 20 years. Attorney General hint at bill to reform justice delivery system. Pope Francis to have abdominal surgery. GRA tax force arrest managers of enterprises for tax infractions. Tax in the yamoja yede. Fanya she sika die bata left right center. Swami interchange construction already commenced ahead of schedule. Urban roads. DVLA partners Ghana Post to deliver driver's licenses for 30 cities. Oh, that's a good initiative. Thumbs up. That is, if only it's feasible. Rwanda president sacks more than 200 soldiers, including generals. Kagame at work. Hey, Rwanda's Kagame, the one and only Kagame. I love this story. EC member dragged to Supreme Court over alleged MPP affiliation. We're referring to Apiahine. Peter Apiahine is now one of the commissioners at the EC. He's been taken to court by the MP for South Dai, Honorable Roxanne Nelson Dafia Mako. Is in court. EC is part of the party suit and the Attorney General. Quickly, I'll be going on the line to speak to a reporter, AKUFO-ADDO. He's going to give us the update about the Ascend North by-election. He will be focusing more on the MPP's election because yesterday he was right there whilst the MPP was electing their candidate. Finally, the election has come to a close, and now Charles Opoku is now the elected candidate of the NDC to come, the MPP to come face to face with the NDC's Samuel Jachi Kwesen. Good morning, Minia.
Yes, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm bouncing around. Yourself?
Oh, we are doing well.
How's the family?
Everybody is doing great.
We bless God. We bless God. And how is the weather condition at your end?
Yes, this morning it's cloudy here.
Wow.
The weather is very cold, but
that's right. That's right.
We're still fighting then pushing to save our nation.
Certainly. So, welcome to Papa Law Radio and then Mpɔtam Morning Show.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so let's go straight to the issue at hand. Yesterday, you were at the venue where the MPP voted massively for Charles Opoku, their candidate. They are now elected candidate who is coming face to face with the NDC's candidate, Jachi Kwesen. I should say presumed candidate for now. Until
for the NDC, it's not presumed. It's the confirmed candidate.
All right. So we thank God that it's a confirmed candidate. What can you report about yesterday? What you saw, and your own estimation? What you think of the election?
Right. First of all, let me thank you for the opportunity given me.
That's fine.
And let me welcome our viewers and listeners to Central Region.
That's right.
I must say that Central Region has now become the regional the center of attraction
and the controller of Ghana now, Ghana politics.
And we will say that Asembreku, which is the capital of the Ascend North, is the de facto capital of Ghana now, because that is where all the actions are being done. Like you rightly said, yesterday was a day that the MPP chose to elect their candidate for the upcoming or the forthcoming by-election. But this by-election is a very historic one.
That's right.
Because for all by-elections conducted, the previous MPs, whether they resigned or they died, did not take part in the by-election itself.
Okay.
But this is the by-election that we have the previous MP or the immediately past MP alive to contest in the by-election. Yesterday I
That's a
told you
good
that
observation.
yes, for those of us who are youths and we are learning, this is a great lessons that we can tell our unborn generations and years to come. Yes. And then, like you're saying, Asin Breku has become the center of attraction now. Yesterday at Asin Akomfo, the MPP held their primaries to elect their candidates, and as you rightly pointed out, Mr. Charles Opoku was overwhelmingly endorsed to lead the MPP in the by-election. He obtained 375 votes against 375 votes against his contender, Mr. Frederick Freeman Chaymensa, who was only able to pull 136 votes. Yes. It appeared the MPP was bent on choosing Charles Opoku. But you see, before the election, there was a press statement that was released by the National Communication Officer for the NDC, challenging the eligibility of Mr. Charles Opoku. I think that particular press statement can be a contributory factor to the man in question.
Okay.
Because for all you know, about 3 days to the election, he was a subject of discussion through the major media outlets in Ghana, including including Papalo Radio.
That's right.
Because it brought the man into the limelight. People were asking questions about him. And this is a man, according to our investigation, who has a foundation here helping the needy people. Aside that, when the Asin North District Assembly was created, his house was used for the first as the district administration block where the DC was operating from. And then he has hostels around which serve most of the senior high schools students in the Asin North here. So through this press statement, people began to question who the man is, and some of these revelations came out. And so I personally wasn't surprised that he won. And through the investigation, it was also revealed that national and regional executive. Yesterday we were talking about the power that be and how influences can come from the top,
especially within when there are factions.
Yes. From our investigation, I learned the national, after coming to the ground to investigate on the chances of MPP candidate, prospective candidates, they realized that Mr. Charles Opoku stood tall to win the seat for them. In fact, at a point, according to our investigation, Frederick Freeman was almost like going unopposed because he was somebody who had groomed himself, and the party at the constituency level had groomed him to lead the party when they realized that there could be a possible by-election. But knowing how influential Mr. Charles Opoku is,
smartly and strategically, they have to bring him.
Yes, they had to bring him to contest Freeman, and so many things could go into it for Mr. Charles Opoku to win the contest, and he has won. Yesterday, after the election, they introduced him to the people of Asin Breku. Asin Breku is where he hails.
That's right.
So they introduced him to the people. There was some kind of a mini float from Akomfo-ADDO to Asin Breku. For Asin Akomfo-ADDO to Asin Breku are two communities apart. Yes. Yeah, from Asin Akomfo-ADDO, you go to there was two communities there before you get to Asin Breku. So they took him through that other communities and then eventually ended at Asin Breku, their party office, to address the people and inform them of the candidate that they've elected. there was a notification that there could be official campaign launch for the by-election this today, but that was not confirmed to us after we interacted with a lot of the regional and the national executive. So we still have our ears on the ground.
That's right.
Whatever drops, we will bring it to you.
All right.
Coincidentally, the NDC was also on the grounds, moving from community to community, campaigning. Professor Jenano Opoku-Agyemang was in the constituency yesterday.
Wow.
Nana Oyelita, former gender minister, was there. The national women's organizer, Dr. Louisa Anabisu, is still in the constituency. Coupled with the regional executives of the NDC were also there. They were moving from community to community. Yesterday, I was able to monitor from at least 3 communities. They were in Asim Breku, they went to Asim Praso, and even the Praso. They met 2 groups over there. What they are doing is that they are meeting the artisans, they are meeting the dressmakers, the hairdressers, their associations, and sort of taking their views on what they need in case Honorable Jati Kwesi is able to retain his position as the MP. And so that is also a strategic campaign that they are doing. So it was fun. You know, in fact, I think North is the
buzzing.
Energy level in Asin North is very
volcano energy.
And yesterday I interacted with some of the MPP executives and said, "Wow, like it seems we are dreaming. What is happening in this community? It's as if we are dreaming. We wish it would be." It will be coming frequently
because economically they are going to make a lot of money.
Yes, almost every hotel.
Yes. Now let's shift the conversation to the MPP camps, the MPP's camp again. What is the pusher of Freeman's camp after the declaration of Charles Opoku?
Yes, when you go to election and you lose by this huge margin, you have no posture to assume than to join the bandwagon and then join the campaign. And I would say that MPP was very, very, very strategic yesterday. Before the declaration in fact, before the election itself, the candidates were made to swear that whatever happens, whatever be the outcome, they will still support the party. Nobody will go independent. And 2,
I've actually sorry to cut in, but I've actually seen that publication by the chairman of the Council of Elders, the current one, Honorable Hackman Owusu-Agyemang, saying any candidate, including their flag bearership, candidate hopefuls, he's indicated that they are going to use the football rules. If your supporters misbehave, we will charge you for it. So I'm just using this point to substantiate what is already being said and done.
Yes, and that is exactly what happened yesterday.
Okay.
And judging from the outcome of the election, you could clearly see that this is an election that you are talking about a candidate winning by more than 70% of the votes. So you have no qualms raising any issue, any objection or whatsoever. And before the declaration of the result, after the counting, the MPP turned the Congress room into a rally. Let me put it that way, where the members of the party were charged, the delegates were charged, the general secretary addressed the people, the regional executive, they addressed the people and told them that whatever happens, it is victory for NPP. And so right after the announcement, it was like a planned float, as I told you. There were cars with spinning machines and other things, numerous of them at the ground. So right after the announcement of the result, they just took to the streets with the winning candidates, and then right away the float started before they even join their cars. So the cars were about 500 meters away from the grounds. So they all walked with the regional executive, national executives to through the streets of AKUFO-ADDO before joining their cars. And even at night, around 8, 9, they were meeting. The regional executive, national executive, and constituency executives were holding a meeting to plan their way forward and how they are going to capture the seat from the NDC. So the MPP is not giving up on the seat, and they sound so confident that they can win the seat.
All right, so let's focus on the persona of Charles Opoku. He looked unassuming, for lack of better word. I saw his posture, his demeanor, and he's a fine, quiet gentleman. I mean, looking at him from afar, I mean, your look, your first sight on people gives you an idea about who they are. What are the people saying about Charles Opoku, and what are the expectations?
Yes, just like I rightly said yesterday, you spoke to one of the communication team members, and he was so emphatic that last time you brought a candidate, you said she's not from
she's from a small town.
Yeah, so now we've brought you the district or the constituency hold so much the people hold so much allegiance to the Asim Breku town. It's
the paramountcy.
Yes, it's as if the Asim Breku without Asim Breku, Asim North wouldn't exist. Even though Asim Praso is very popular for being the transitional town from Central to Ashanti region, yet the Asim Breku has become a town that people pay so much homage to. And the man Kwesi won according to the MPP and their narrative because he is from Asim Breku. And the people wanted
they had eternal issues at the time.
Yes, aside their eternal issues, they also talked that because the man was from Asim Breku, he had the overwhelming endorsement from the people of Breku. And of course, Breku is the biggest town and the district capital as well. So people, there is that divided attention. That okay, now it's going to be 50-50 in Asim Breku, where they think that is Honorable Jachi Kwesin's stronghold or trump card in 2020 election. So the man, as you rightly said, is a fine gentleman, an engineer in Takwa mines, you know. So yes, and they know his philanthropic activities through the foundation that he has established, and according to them, the foundation has existed for years, not just for this election. In fact, you could even tell from the way he himself is not a candidate. I think he himself is not a registered voter in the constituency, for which he cannot even vote for himself.
That's right.
People think that, well, he has worked on the ground during the election. People were like, to mean that the man has worked, the man has done a lot for the party.
So it's payback time.
Yes, so it's time for the party to also replicate what he has done for them. And there are others too who are saying that, well, we had a candidate from Asim Breku. You said you don't like him. You've taken him to court. You know, up to now, people still don't understand the court issue. Now you've brought another one. So what do we do to him? I mean, so it's kind of the court issue. People are still people are still discussing. Yes, and Papa, from what I saw with the NDC activities yesterday, if anybody tells you that Josh Kwesi is unpopular in the constituency, that person has to revise his note, because the people love him. The people love, even when we're in the car and moving along, you could see the cheers by the people on the roadside, on the side of the cars branded with Jachi Kwesi. Maybe because Charles Opoku has not also stepped down to start the official campaign to see his branded cars and other things.
The
we will say that yes, for now It is the Achikwuesin that people seem to know and people seem to love in the constituency.
Okay, so let's look at finally about Achikwuesin coming face to face with Charles Opoku. What do you think will be the advantage that the MPP will have over Achikwuesin? And on the other way, what do you think will be the advantage of the NDC's candidate Achikwuesin over Charles Opoku? I have listened to a lot of researchers, political researchers, and before the election of Charles Opoku, they were all saying the NDC's candidate Achikwuesin will have the edge over the MPP's maybe supposed candidate. They were all rooting for Achikwuesin. According to their research, they said Jachi is going to win. But yesterday, most of them came to revise their note, like you rightly said, saying that now that Charles Opoku had been elected, it's going to be a very tough, contest, and whoever comes out will deserve the win. Your take on both candidates?
Is it the MPP had groomed Freeman to contest for the primaries? That is a fact. That is something that everybody knows, including the regional executive that I had the opportunity to speak to. They had groomed Freeman to take over or to contest in a prospective by-election about a year ago. And in fact, since 2020, after the election, and they realized that there could be a possible by-election. Now, in few months to filing the nomination, the regional and national executive have realized that no, there is a man somewhere who is mostly loved by the people and has the chance of winning the seat for us. So let us convince him to come and contest. And they convinced him to come and contest and wins overwhelmingly against a candidate that they themselves have groomed over the years. Speak volume of who Charles Opoku is. In fact, the man, when it comes to resource, he's very, very resourceful. Even though I don't think he can match the resources of Achikwuesin. But the man is very, very, very resourceful. And the government in power
is going to support. That is
it's going to support. As I speak to you now, there are a lot of projects ongoing at Asimbreku, the capital of Asin North district. A lot of road projects ongoing. When I went there, I saw a completed AstroTurf, which is yet to be commissioned.
It's actually going viral. A lot of people are sharing it on social media.
Yes. Coupled with other educational projects that are going on.
The MPP actually claim they have initiated 112 projects so far in the community.
So all these projects, they are expecting the president to be in the constituency to commission the 32-kilometer road from Asin Fosu to Asin Praso. And I must admit that this is a road that I've used for the past 20 years.
That's right.
Yes, and I know how the people
are really testifying.
Yes. In fact, when you get to Fosu now, the story is different. Fosu looks like a modern day community or a city. So I think that one can have advantage for the MPP candidate. Yes, and his foundation that have supported a lot of people, a lot of widows, a lot of people over the years can also be of advantage to him. However, Achikwuesin is the MP who had an issue, and he still, don't forget, he won the last parliamentary election in the constituency, and the man is not dead. The man has not resigned. He was challenged based on the law, and now the law permits him, of course, what happens.
You now have the renunciation.
Yes, and per what happens with regards to the criminal charges against him, the man is eligible to contest. So what will prevent somebody who voted for him in 2020 to change their mind this time around, not to vote for him? He hasn't died. He hasn't resigned. He hasn't committed any crime. As yesterday, he was speaking to the people. So the sympathy is still there. the people still
and
love him.
He made a very emotional statement. He said,
Yeah.
until the people reject me, my duty here still continues, and I'm going to fight on.
Yes,
And
and
they
he
asked him
repeated.
about his age, and he said they should look at him and testify. He's looking very strong. He's coming with experience, with
And
skills, and all
now
that.
the people call him old soldier.
Oh, soldier,
Yes.
70-year-old man, still
Yeah,
bouncing
yes,
around.
yes. He'll be 71 this year.
That's right.
And so the people still love him. The people don't see the reason why they should change
That's
a
right.
candidate who hasn't committed any crime, who hasn't given up on his dreams of serving. And he, wherever he goes, he says that he's coming to serve. He has a vision. He's not coming to, embezzle funds and other things. His vision is to see the people grow, the people develop. And so that is the reason why he's there. And that's the reason why people are tormenting him and frustrating him. But he has assured the people that no matter what happens, he's there to serve the people. And so that can be an advantage to him, especially we Ghanaians, that we sympathize a lot with people who are going through troubles and other things. I think that. But one thing that it can also be advantage to Charles Opoku is his age. People think that when you give him the opportunity, he can serve them for a very long period, comparing to
the age.
Jachikwesin. And the campaign is also that now my government is in power for the next 2 years. At least you give me the opportunity.
That's right.
To bring
more
development to the
projects.
Especially, why do you vote for somebody who is even battling legal issue with the government when you have somebody who is free and can serve you? So these are some of the issues that can point out in.
I think the election of Charles Opoku has neutralized the chances of the NDC in my own estimation.
Yes, and it's true.
Finally, what is your own estimation in the coming days concerning the by-election?
Well, in the coming days, I'm expecting fire. You know, every by-election comes with fire. As I speak to you now, I made mention of Nana Opoku-Adddo, professor, was in the constituency. Nana Oyeleta was there. Hannah Bisu is still in the constituency, and he has promised to be with the people till the by-election is over. People are booking hotels, guest houses to relocate to Asin North. So you can see that now that MPP is done with their primaries, there are supposed to be a lot of people trooping to the constituency. There are a lot of media outlets. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to speak to the Joy News reporter, Richard Kudonyako. Right. He's saying he's leaving on Friday and come back maybe on Monday. TV3 and other networks are there. Yesterday, because of the by-election, you sent me to the place, and it shows how serious the election is. So it's heating up, and one guy was saying, "Hey, it is hard way say na kroi
That's right.
So in my estimation, I'm expecting a very heated campaign.
All right.
Very, very heated campaign. I'm expecting a lot of resources being put to the place, and I'm also expecting that the Ghana Police Service, just as they did in Kume, will do professional job to make sure that at any point in time there is crime in Asin.
That's right.
Yes, but if
the security
today,
situation too is going to be perfect, I suppose.
Yes, yesterday I saw a lot of police presence at the place, so I'm hoping that things will be calm.
Pray and hope it won't turn to
yes, in the coming days we'll be on the grounds to furnish our viewers and listeners with what is happening.
Okay.
So I think.
Thank you so much. I mean,
thank you.
We are so grateful. Best of luck for the day and then for your program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so our reporter Kweku Efriye in the central region of Ghana. Mpɔtam Morning Show with Papa Law Perfect. We're streaming live on www.modernghana.com, onlineradiobox.com. I want you to hit the share button, share the broadcast on your page, on your timeline, send the link to your friends. Tell your friends it's time for Mpɔtam Morning Show. David Santos.
Attorney General.
Machi Bokode.
Nyamiadum.
Bigidi say, "Oh ye pa Mpɔtam Morning Show."
Information there be
education.
Yes, yeah.
Na ya entertaining.
Yeah. Somebody said,
Mr. John Apia, the mentor, you never to
oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Na and the topic I discuss no. Emuye de papa. Friendship and peer pressure. But you focus on peer pressure. Unse all the questions a big brain like Mr. John Apia,
yeah.
My excellency in the making.
Yes.
Would the BBC call anymore or no or punchy holes or muana fe what you say,
yeah.
Very detailed man. I mean, always adding more knowledge to
yeah.
My excellency, good morning.
Good morning, sir. And good morning to my good friend Santos.
We're gossiping about you.
I love you, Daddy.
I heard everything. This one is public gossip.
I love you, Daddy.
Santos loves you and he extends his regards.
I love him too. My regards to him.
How's the weather condition in Koforidua, right?
Yes, I'm in Cape Coast at the moment. I had to come for a project. But it looks good here in Cape Coast.
Okay. So how's the weather condition in Cape Coast?
Yes, it looks very fine today. It looks very clear.
Wow.
Yes,
here we are experiencing the rains here. Intermittently.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Wow.
Showers.
It's good I escaped Accra.
I'm telling you. We're enjoying a brooch day in Ghana.
That's right.
We thank God and I'm happy.
Yes.
How's the family?
Oh, we are well, by His grace. We are well. Yes, please.
Like I always do, what's your general overview of the youth of today?
Yes. So, like I also always say to you, it's work in progress. It is extremely important for us to manage our expectations, because if we don't manage our expectations, we may, at the end of the day, be shipwrecked on our way to success. So it's work in progress. We're constantly on a daily basis looking for opportunities and ways to better the lives of young people, and most importantly, help empower young people to be able to take up more responsibilities in the society and to be able to contribute significantly to development in the community. And with the great work your radio station is doing, it makes the work even easier for us, because then you are also creating that audience to which we can also pass on very relevant and important information that will help them to be able to make the right decisions.
That's great. So please briefly tell us about yourself. Sometimes people ask me, where can I engage Mr. John Apia? Which of my department? Which of my companies? So briefly tell us about yourself, and then A-League, and then African Youth for Development.
That's right. So essentially, there are three main things that occupies my time almost every day. The first is the A-League Consult, which is a human capital development organization that provides training, capacity building, skills enhancement for organizations and for individuals. I also spend much of my time also working on the African Chamber for Youth Development. We all, to a large extent, agree that for the youth to be actively involved in national development, they have to be empowered, they have to be given the necessary skills, they have to be given the right capacity, allow them to be able to contribute to national discourse. So through the activities of the African Chamber for Youth Development, we are looking at ways where we can really empower young people in Ghana and in Africa and give them that requisite training that they need, especially on matters of leadership and soft skills development, to be able to allow them contribute to the conversation. And I also run a medical clinic based in Koforidua. It's also a very good opportunity for us to provide health to our people. It is not just about your intelligence or your emotional strength. You also need your physical strength and capacity to allow you to be able to carry out your dreams and your ambitions. So through the conduit of Koforidua Clinic, we are working very hard to provide that kind of good health and that kind of medical support to our people in our community, so that they can also experience or enjoy the good health.
Wow.
Yes.
Indeed, good bees don't rattle. All right, so let's zoom straight into our subject for the day. Today we are discussing peer pressure. What is peer pressure?
Thank you very much for your question. And I really like the preliminary discussions you had with our brother Santos. Peer pressure is a very important thing, which we need to talk about all the time. Sometimes people assume that it is just about teenagers and adolescents who experience peer pressure. But the truth of the matter is that peer pressure cuts across the spectrum from teenagers to adulthood. In fact, until the day you are laid in the grave, there's always a tendency to be influenced.
I'm learning something today. Honestly,
yes.
We always focus on the
teenagers and young adults. Yes, but until you are laid to the grave, you are constantly influenced or bombarded with peer pressure.
Boogies can even have peer pressure.
I'm telling you. Wow. So it is something we really need to focus on to be able to help people understand that. Let's not just restrict it only to young people. So in the broad sense of the word, you can define peer pressure as the influence exerted by a group or individuals within that group on other members to conform to certain values, beliefs, and behaviors.
Which can be positive or negative.
Absolutely. All right. So once you belong to any group, what happens is that the group in its entirety or individuals within the group will have a way of influencing your decisions and your choices in order to cause you to conform to particular values or beliefs or behaviors. Whether positive or negative is another conversation. But the whole thing is that peer pressure is the conduit or is the process by which the members of social groups influence other members to doing things that they may initially not want to do or may be hesitant to do, but by virtue of other people in the group doing it and exerting influence, people find themselves also being part of the system. So peer pressure can be looked at from this perspective.
So can one be influenced to an extent that he or she wouldn't live according to his or her own intentions or plans?
Yes, it's very, very possible, and it's happening on a daily basis. I remember when we were growing up, especially when we're in the primary and junior high schools, what happens most of the time, especially even with our academic work, people sometimes write their exams, they are done, but they are just waiting for one person to get up to go and put the answer sheet in front of the teacher, and just after one person gets up, a lot of people start following the person. So I remember I did something very naughty in JSS. What I did was that a lot of people were looking up to me because they knew I was sharp, I was brilliant, and all that. So I got up with my
Madonna paper. Brains.
Madonna, you got it right on spot. So I got up with my answer sheet and I was headed towards the invigilators there to submit my paper. Immediately I got up, I realized that 2, 3, 4 people got up and were following me. Then midway, I turned around and I came back to sit down. And the people were left standing there. And I'm like, wow, so you're not ready, but you're following me. Well, I've come to sit down. I've remembered something I need to put into the answer sheet. But the point is that on a daily basis, people set out to do things in a particular way. But in the course of doing it, they realize that they have to change the way they are acting, the way they are behaving, sometimes the way they are dressing and everything in order to be able to fit in. So when we go to understanding why peer pressure occurs, we'll talk more about that. But just to answer your question, it is very possible. You may set out to do this. Even in the radio industry, I've been in the radio and TV industry, you understand. So maybe as a pre-production, we've decided to talk about a particular subject, but we'll go on air and then there's a major scandal hitting the nation, and then we change immediately, because if we don't change, we'll lose our audience. Exactly. So these things happen. So not just into our individual or personal life, but sometimes even in the way we do work and the way we do things. And most typically Ghanaians are copycats. So somebody starts selling a particular thing, by the time you realize everybody around is selling the same thing.
If
so
it's coffee, everybody will start selling coffee.
I'm telling you, also peer pressure.
Even that can be termed as peer pressure.
Of course, because it's people within a group who are doing things in a particular way that is pushing you or forcing you to also act or behave in a particular way as well.
Wow.
Yes.
I'm really learning, because when people started venturing into cashew production, I saw a lot of Ghanaians, my friends calling me, Lawrence, let's go to the BA, let's get some lands, I'll get some for you. We started cashew stuff, and I was like, whoa. Thanks for this education. So let's proceed. Why does peer pressure occur?
That's a very interesting question, because social psychologists have been trying to, understand and explain why peer pressure occurs. but I'll use two theories to be able to throw more light on why peer pressure exists. There's one particular theory we call the social learning theory. Okay, it was developed by Defoe and his friends or group of intellectuals in 2018. Right. And what they emphasize on is the fact that people learn through observation. One, people learn through instruction. Two, and people learn through imitation. All right. So what they are saying is that what Defoe is saying essentially is that through the social learning theory, it explains why people learn or how people can learn through observation. So sometimes people may not ask you questions or interact with you personally, but they'll be observing the way you do your things and people will be learning from it. Okay. There are times you have to explicitly give instructions, do this or do that or go here or come here. All right. That is by instruction. And of course, by imitation. So people would like to be like other people. So the last time we spoke about mentorship. So sometimes people want to behave like their mentors and therefore they imitate the manner in which their mentors behave and conduct themselves. Even their voices, their hairstyle, their dressing style, their choice of clothes, and even sometimes the way they speak. It is as a result of imitation. So that explains, or using social learning theory, that explains why peer pressure happens. That's why people will do things that under normal circumstances they may not want to do. And it is because they are observing or they are receiving instructions or they are imitating. The second theory I will use to explain this concept is what we call the social identity theory. Now, that was developed by theory. Yes, that was developed by Gruppenspa et al. And friends in 2018. Also trying to draw attention to the fact that people identify with a group and follow their norms in order for them to feel a part of that group, a part of that movement, a part of that society. All right. So sometimes people will not want to become lone rangers. People will not like to be renegades. People will not like to be the people standing out differently. So in order to feel belonging, or in order to feel that, yes, I'm part of a particular group or society, people sometimes try to do what others are doing within the group just for them to feel that they are indeed a part of that group. So these two main theories, in my opinion, explains why the concept of peer pressure exists and why it is greatly influencing people in their choices and actions.
So let's look at the power of social media.
Yeah.
Social media has also come to play a major role when it comes to how people behave. Has social media added more pressure to a lot of people from the teen bracket till, like you rightly said, until your last day on the earth?
Yes, absolutely. Social media is something that we cannot hide from. And even in your interview before you brought me on, you were speaking about a video that has gone viral.
That's right.
All right. And that has gone viral as a result of social media. So those days, you have to either watch TV or listen to the news to see what is going on. But now, by the kind intervention of technology, you can actually have it on your phone. And that is through the power of social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and on and on and on and on. So what happens is that through the power of social media, a lot of information is available. A lot of people can actually tune in or get into social media to observe what is going on and learn by observation, learn by instruction, or learn by imitation. Or sometimes people would also want to be a part of a movement or a part of a society by watching what is going on and what others are doing on social media. So social media has come to change the conversation. That's why it's important that we stress on the fact that peer pressure should not only be restricted to friends, because you see, not everybody on social media is your friend, but you have contacts on social media that maybe you are following for updates, for information, for lifestyle, for entertainment, whatever it may be. But the point again is that through the power of social media, there is exposure. People are exposed to information, they are exposed to trends, and there's a tendency or likelihood or the proclivity for people to act or behave in a certain way as a result of what it is that they see happening on social media. So yes, social media has come to stay with us, and it is indeed a very powerful conduit through which peer pressure is exerted almost all the time.
So let's look at where peer pressure usually occurs. Where does it usually occur?
Good question. So from social media, like we rightly explained, it can also happen on social media. That is why sometimes you go to social media, and you and I went to the same school, Pope John's. So if we go on social media and realize that all our Pope John friends are changing even their DPs or changing their profile pictures to reflect you are forced to change because exactly you don't want to be left out.
Proud Pojo,
You
I
know,
remember.
yes. So that is how social media is influencing us. So
Okay.
the peer pressure works or happens even on social media. All right. Sometimes everybody is sharing a particular piece of information. You don't want to be left out. You don't want to be seen as somebody.
If you
who,
have a team like Man United, you want to
exactly.
share Man City,
You're
the
right.
best
You
team.
have to, because then it is part of the trend. And when you are left out of the trend, then it's another conversation. So pressure happens, peer pressure happens a lot on social media. The other place that sometimes people don't even think about, but peer pressure exists very much is at the workplaces. At the workplaces. So sometimes, as an employer, I understand. Sometimes people come to work late, and sometimes it is because they are learning by observation, for example, that
Their
their
boss
bosses don't
doesn't
even
come
come to
early.
work. Exactly. So they too decide
Peer
that, oh, I
pressure.
won't do that. And you see, it is very evident in workplaces. Sometimes people come fresh to the workplace and they are very exuberant, they are very
Active.
energetic, engaging, and then people watch and say, oh, my 3 days per obesity. And how will that happen? It is because of what the person will see happening or whatever the person observes. So I remember a nurse came to work with us and we're having a conversation, and then she said she went to do national service at a place where she was so much excited about saving lives and jumping from patient to patient and all that. And one of the senior nurses called and said, Madam, and you know, she would the whole world. Do what you can do and leave the rest.
That
And
statement
she
is
said
very dangerous, a
very
detrimental statement.
dangerous, very, very dangerous and detrimental to growth. So eventually she realized that she was the only person going the extra mile, and over time she just got frustrated and tired and she left. Yesterday I was speaking to one of my friends who's looking for opportunities to leave the country. Why? Because where she's working, there's a lot of negative peer pressure, and people are doing things ways that it doesn't support her moral system and all that, and she's fed up and she just wants to pack up her
The
baggage and
adding
just
of
leave the
zeros.
country.
The adding of
Yes,
zeros.
the adding of zeros. The pressure is real. If you don't do it, you are signaled or you are assigned or you are assigned to something else,
That's right.
or you are neglected or pushed to the back. So at the workplaces, there's a lot of peer pressure happening. And then also in schools. And remember, schools is not just for adolescents or for young people or for teenagers. It is also for people who are, maybe reading their masters, who are doing their PhDs and all that. And even at the school level, there's always a probability for people to be influenced by peer pressure.
That's
So
right.
even in our schools, peer pressure exists. You can also look at our churches and religious groups, all right?
Another
Sometimes
important place.
another important area, because you see, sometimes because you belong to a particular faith or you belong to a
That's right.
particular religious organization, everybody is moving in a particular way, and you cannot be seen as somebody who's left out.
That's right.
So let me use the church setting. So we are doing 21 days fasting and prayer, and you are in the church, and you go to work and it's lunchtime, and you are like, hey, if I go to buy food at this restaurant, there's most likely the chance of people seeing me and say, well, elder, now but you're fasting, saying, meanwhile, you are not fasting, but
That's
everybody is doing it. And if you look at our Muslim community, they have Ramadan, which is a month-long fast that they do every year. So if you are part of such an organization or part of a religious body, or you belong to a particular religious organization, sometimes you are put under a kind of peer pressure that allows you to go in a particular. And remember that peer pressure is not only negative going on in the conversation.
That's right.
We can look at that, but it's also important to understand that sometimes peer pressure can be positive. So even at the religious organizations, in our churches, in our mosques, at our shrines and all that, there's a lot of peer pressure. Lately, people have been going on and on about the Nogopu.
That's right.
Exactly. And I heard you do a very brilliant discussion on that. So
That's right.
all these things shows to the fact that there can be pressure even from our religion or from our religious organizations. And then, of course, sometimes even in our homes, people don't realize it. I spoke to a doctor I was interviewing for a job in my clinic, and he said, oh, we are a family of about 4 boys, and all of us are medical doctors. I'm the last born. I had no option but to go and read medicine.
Okay.
That is the power of peer pressure.
That's right.
And people go to particular schools. So in my house, everybody will go to Pope John's, whether they like it or not. It is from the family. It is there. Oh, in our family, we are all lawyers. We all go to a particular school. We all belong to this particular football team. We all do things in a particular way. Even to the extent that in some families, everybody has a particular type of car. So if you are growing up and you have not yet bought that car, you don't feel a part of the system.
That's true.
And remember, as I was explaining in the initial stages, it is that desire to belong to a group that can push you into peer pressure. Okay. So peer pressure can even happen in the family settings.
On a lighter note, you know, my old boy attended Pope John Secondary, so at the time was St. John's.
Wow,
My
wow,
grandfather, that's my mother's side. It's
that's right.
amazing. So
And
my
interesting.
results came. You know, I chose St. Peter's. So my
Ah,
results
and they brought you
came.
to Pope
I'm
John's.
telling you, my results came and he said, "No, you are not going to St. Peter's. You are coming here."
I'm happy you came, pa.
I'm
Because if you
telling
had
you,
not come, we would not have met.
that's
So,
right. All right. So, what are some of the causes of peer pressure?
okay. So there are some one or two causes that
Mm,
we can talk about, which people can easily relate. And I indicated, yes, a desire to fit in. You know, so even the desire to fit in
mm,
can cause people to, as it were,
mm.
be influenced by peer pressure.
That's right.
And also the point of people trying to avoid being rejected or being neglected.
Okay.
You don't want people to look down on you. You don't want to be seen as somebody who is different, somebody who is anti-so and
Mm-hmm.
all that. So sometimes that fear of rejection is strong enough to compel people to be engaged or be influenced by peer pressure.
Honorable,
All right.
Your Excellency, that's where I have a challenge. I
Talk to me.
believe that maybe you have that mindset. If I wish I smoke, you have that mindset. I want to
Mm,
smoke. I want to smoke. So you have
mm.
somebody who is a chain smoker who only help you or encourages you to do it.
That's
So
right.
that's where people have an issue with peer pressure. Some people
Yes.
believe that there's nothing like peer pressure. You already have your premeditated, plans, and you just um, were able to realize it because you had somebody to encourage you to do.
Yes, that's where I am opposed to that particular thinking, and I'll try and explain to
All
you.
right.
So, yes, you may have the tendency to smoke,
Mm.
all right, but it is easier to smoke when you're in a company of smokers.
Okay.
Because can you imagine if you have the desire to smoke and all the people you are moving with or the places you visit, it is a no smoking zone, a no smoking area. Of course, that desire may not be manifested because again, people will
Mm.
not like to feel different. You don't want to be the only person there with cigarettes and you are
Mm.
smoking.
Okay.
So as for peer pressure, we
Mm.
try to deny it or water it or dilute it, but it's still there because you see, once you have that desire, the influence of people around you can push you to it or push you away from it.
Mm.
So I've been in certain scenarios where somebody orders for a particular drink and road is like, hey, I had a yes, I have pacho,
Mm.
and that influenced the person changed the order and the person did something else. That's
That's
the
right.
power of social media.
Mm.
All right, or that's the power of peer pressure
That's right.
for us to say because it was a physical engagement that resulted in that. So
Okay.
it is important. People may think that nipa no be fair or be say and nipa
Mm.
no be pro, but sometimes the conditions you find yourself in can either fast track it or
Mm.
delay it or actually cause you to avoid it. So I don't agree with them. You may have that
Okay.
desire personally, but the more you have friends in that particular area or that particular tendency or that particular behavior tendencies, then you may be forced to do something like that.
That's
Yeah.
great. So, how
Yeah.
does peer pressure manifest, or what are the types of peer pressure?
Yeah, so you can strictly look at it from this point of view. There's one
Mm.
which is I will want to call the spoken peer pressure. As for
Okay.
that one, it is explicit communication from a person or group trying to convince you to engage in a specific behavior. So
Okay.
you tell your friend, John, this one there, you have to do it. This is how we do things over here.
Mm.
So that one, it is spoken, it is said, it is expressly communicated. And that can be one form of manifestation of peer pressure. Then there's another form where it is unspoken. What happens is that usually you are exposed to the behavior yourself, you are exposed to the trend, and therefore choosing to act in a particular way becomes easier for you because
That's right.
everybody's acting in that particular way, everybody's moving in that particular way. Sometimes it is a matter of body language, sometimes it's a matter of non-verbal communication. So even though people are not telling you to dance in a particular way, when you are in that group, everybody's dancing that way. So by the time you realize you're also dancing in that same way. All right.
Mm.
And there's something we joke with and all the time say, follow the leader, follow the leader. So sometimes
Mm.
what your leaders are doing, though they may not tell you to do the same thing, you may be forced by the virtue of unspoken peer pressure to act in that particular way. And then there is the direct peer pressure. As for that direct peer pressure, we can easily identify that and recognize it because it involves people directly interacting with each other and even helping you to act in a particular way.
Mm.
So that is direct peer pressure. So we are in a group of people and we have decided that every day we're going to smoke six sticks of cigarettes.
That's right.
So maybe one day you come to that group, you don't even have six cigarettes, but somebody brought extra because they want you to do it. All right. So it is where there is that direct pressure and people are closely involved and facilitating you to act in a particular way or in a particular direction. Then we can say that that's a manifestation of direct peer pressure.
Okay.
And then there's the indirect peer pressure. As for that one, it's not like the person stands in front of you to tell you to do this or to do that. But again, you can pick up cues on social media. You can pick up cues from the way the person acts or behaves. You can pick up indirectly the implication of what the person is doing to tell you that this is what you're supposed to do. So, for example, somebody opens a door for you. Indirectly, they're asking you to enter the door. They have not said enter the door, but they have opened the door for you.
That's right.
You got what I'm trying to say? So there's that indirect peer pressure that we also have to identify. And when we see that manifestation, we should recognize it and then be able to act in a way that would help us.
I know you've spoken about this one, but maybe you have to throw more light on this one. Is peer pressure always negative?
Yes, so it is not always negative, and I'll give you some scenarios of positive peer pressure. But even before that, let us still look at the negative peer pressure for people to understand what we are talking about. Okay, so usually when you are influenced by others to engage in an unproductive behavior that has bad consequences on you and even the society as a whole, then you are being influenced by negative peer pressure. So something like drug abuse or substance abuse, it happens a lot. Sometimes you may not naturally be a chain smoker or be a weed smoker or cocaine abuser or whatever it is, but because of the clique you find yourself in, there's a likelihood for people to do that. And sometimes even at our senior secondary schools, people pick up a lot of bad behavior, and later we see some of these things manifesting in their lives and being a problem, not just to themselves, but to the people or the society where they find themselves in. So yes, negative peer pressure can sometimes manifest, and a very good example is the issue of drug or substance abuse. Sometimes to illicit and risky sexual behaviors, can be as a result
especially
of
you look at
negative
social media, people taking their nude pictures, sending it across,
You're
dancing
right.
nakedly or half
You're right.
naked on
You're
social
right.
media,
The twerking
and people
and
don't
all
care.
those things.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
sometimes
people
you
don't care.
wonder if their parents or family members are around, because where some of us are coming from, you dare not.
You dare not do that.
Anybody can discipline you.
Yes. Absolutely.
From where I'm coming from, your mother can ship you, your grandmother can ship you, your uncles, your aunties, anybody can discipline you.
You are right. You are right.
Especially
But
when
now,
they know it's wrong. But now,
exactly. So
I
nobody
find it
cares.
funny to
Nobody cares
understand.
at all. Sometimes you realize that there's a naked video trending, and then you go to look at the people who have liked it, and you're like, people you see there who have liked it, and like, hey, really?
Including Christians.
My brother. So social media is really, really creating a lot of issues. But again, just to look at some of the negative implications of negative peer pressure, this illicit and risky sexual behavior, so rape, defilement, molestation, abortion, and all those other things. Exactly, it comes as a result of sometimes the negative peer pressure that people are faced with. And then sometimes people too engage in a lot of illegal activities like bribery and corruption. You may not necessarily be somebody who has that tendency to indulge in bribery and corruption, but the pressure is there. I know a particular institution in Ghana, I won't say it, and I hope you don't also say it, but when you get into that institution, there's a likelihood of you taking bribes.
I'm telling you.
And it's like it is part of it. Yes, but we won't mention their names for security reasons.
We will not.
But
they know themselves.
They know themselves. So sometimes, as a result of negative peer pressure, even at the workplaces, people may be involved in bribery and corruption, sometimes financial malfeasance, people are stealing money, people are involved in a lot of scandals, maybe in a particular institution, people are sleeping with the national service people are sleeping with interns, and by the time you realize it is everybody is doing it, so then you become a part of it. By the time you realize you are involved in it.
Office romance.
Yes, maybe one day we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about
but
that.
these are all manifestations of negative peer pressure, armed robbery, even prostitution, now they call it hookups, and all that. These things all can be as a result of the negative implications of peer pressure. Now let's look at the positive side. Sometimes your peers can influence you to do something which is positive, something which is proactive, or something which is productive. All right. So positive peer pressure essentially refers to situations where your peers encourage you to do something that leads to a positive behavior that can contribute positively to your own development, to your own well-being, and of course to the development of the community as well. All right. So that is positive peer pressure at work. So what happens is that sometimes people can influence you to move in a particular direction that is helpful to you. If you are in a class and everybody is studying to get first class and you are not affected by that kind of pressure to also get first class, then that is your problem. But that is positive peer pressure at work. Maybe you are in a particular class, everybody dresses well. You work in a place where everybody dresses well. Everybody comes to work on time. Everybody is productive. Everybody is contributing to discussions. You are forced to be part of it.
Like,
and that is also
my producer.
Positive peer pressure. It can help you to be a better person. It can help you to make right decisions, and it can help you to advance in a particular way. So let's not always think that it's about negative peer pressure. Positive peer pressure is also something which is relevant, and we need a lot in our times to be able to, solve the societal problems we have. So say, take something like indiscriminate, how do you call it, throwing rubbish anywhere, and people, all these things. If you are in a community, sometimes people say that they travel outside and they don't find litter around, and I'm like, yes, because the people there are inclined to ensuring that it doesn't happen. So there are dustbins that have been put strategically. If you are seen dropping litter anywhere, you may be punished, you may be fined, and all of these things pushes people into a particular form of conformity, which is positive to development and very important to progress. So that is some of the manifestations of the positive peer pressure.
I also think society has not been, favorable when it comes to some of these topics. I once had an altercation with one driver's mate, and it was about he throwing garbage from the car
onto the road.
Yes.
Wow.
And I have to question him. Interestingly, you have this passenger supporting the driver's mate, telling me, you these people, that mindset. When you go to that your university, you go and buy your car. That kind of statement.
That's right.
And it doesn't encourage society to live right.
You are right, because the society has accepted certain things as normal. So if you try to go the opposite way, you are seen as the deviant. You rather who's doing something positive, you are seen as the deviant. So sometimes you are trying to correct people and they are shouting at you that you are too and then one can go school and that kind of negative comments like that. It can affect you, all right, and it will cause you to start conforming to what people exactly. So I agree with you when you say that yes, sometimes society has not been very helpful to us. We have a lot of expectation as a nation, but unfortunately our actions doesn't suppose that we really want to see some positive things happening in our lives, because we are so used to the negative things that anything that is different becomes a problem. So let me give a typical example. It may be controversial. Look, anywhere there's by-election, there's fast-track development and progress in that community.
It's true.
And people are talking about it. People are bashing people. So I'm saying that don't we want progress? Don't we want development?
We want
but
it.
The question is that should we wait until something happens before we do this or do that? So it's a whole bunch of issues that as a nation, as a society, with something like what you are doing on your radio, you are helping to change the paradigm and to change the conversation and to help us to become a better people.
We thank God. Finally, how do you deal with negative peer pressure?
Okay, so I may not have all the answers. I may not be the repository of all intelligence when it comes to managing negative peer pressure, but I'll give some suggestions that I think people can employ that can be helpful to them. So number one, you need to be strong enough to be able to learn to say no. You must learn to say no. Sometimes we are so much in a haste to please people and to conform and to be like other people that no has disappeared from our dictionary. Anything somebody brings up, yes, I will try it, I will do it, and that may not be very helpful, especially when you're fighting negative peer pressure. You should be able to say no and say it like you mean it. Sometimes people tell that, oh, they know he said or she said, oh, I know she was joking, and if I put pressure, the person may change. Even in relationships, sometimes we hear that when you propose to a young lady and she says, no, don't give up, keep going and going and going, it will happen. But maybe for all the person really means no. So we need to learn to say no and act like we mean no. Very important. You don't tell me that you don't want to, for example, take any drug or take any, abuse substance, but you have it in your hand. It's like playing with fire. If you play with fire, you'll be burnt. So you need to learn to say no and live and act like you really mean it. All right. The second thing I would suggest to people to do is that when you're in such an environment and certain subjects comes up and you are very uncomfortable with, either you make a strong attempt to change the conversation or you leave that particular environment. So, for example, in the car, when somebody throws rubbish and you're trying to see it and everybody's insulting you and all that, if you have a number of options, you can actually say, "Me to this, because then the people are not in the same mind with you. The driver is speeding and people are encouraging, Masa Chiasu, but you realize that it can lead you to accident. Or you sit in a car. Exactly. Nobody has seatbelt, but you are asking where are the seatbelts and the other artists are. So if you're not careful, you either have to step out of the car and move away. So you need to find ways of leaving the environment, especially when you realize that whatever is going on there doesn't make you comfortable and doesn't help you to be a better person. And the last thing I'll talk about is that look, avoid places and situations and groups that will cause you to do things that you don't want to do.
Groups, yes.
Yes.
Some of them sending you requests and all that, just block them.
Yes. Just block them. Delete them, so that you don't get the temptation. So if, for example, you are struggling and dealing with pornography, but you have joined a WhatsApp group that shares pornography, why are you there, my brother? So you have to make conscious effort to avoid circumstances, situations, and groups that are going in a particular trajectory that you are not happy about or you are not interested in being a part of them. Make that conscious effort, avoid them, and then save your life. I think that's also very important.
Wow. I wish we don't end, but I know you're already on the move. Your final words.
Yeah, so in my final conclusion, I just want to encourage our listeners to first of all understand that peer pressure happens all the time, from infancy to adulthood until you are eventually buried. There will always be peer pressure. Number two, we need to understand that peer pressure can be negative and peer pressure can be positive. For the influences that are positive as a result of peer pressure, we encourage people to move in that particular direction. Be friends with people that will positively influence you to do things. Be part of society or part of groups that will push you to go in a very positive direction. And for the negative peer pressure, we would encourage you to avoid being part of such engagements or such societies or such grouping, so that at the end of the day, you put yourself in a very good position to advance and go forward in a very positive direction.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
We are grateful.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Mr. John Appiah is the president for African Chamber for Youth Development. Great brain. It's been a blessing to us this morning. I'm really educated. I was always focusing on teen and adult. Going through peer pressure, but I've been educated that even your last day on earth, you can be influenced. It's time for Mpɔtam Morning Sports, and the professor of sport is already here.
My destiny,
stand up for the champions
patiently.
All right, so stick and stay right here.
I believe.
Mpɔtam Morning Show, 50 minutes on top of the hour, 8 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papalo Radio. We're streaming live on www.mountainghana.com, online radiobox.com. I want you to hit the share button, share the broadcast on your page, on your timeline, send the link to your friends. Today we're discussing a lot of these stories. Ken must go. Hashtag Ken must go. Ken Oforiatta, the current finance minister, must go, says the NPP MPs. That is their declaration. Eric stand up for the champions.
All right, stand up for the champions.
I don't follow Ghana football again because it's dead, says Elijah Tony Yeboah.
Tony Yeboah, yes. Yesterday was in the news. People are still giving the notion that yes, what he said is true, because Ghana
also follow him.
There's no interest. I think even a player, I have a player in UAE who came recently, and yesterday in an interview he made mention that he went to watch the Town of Bofako match against 11 Wonders, and it was so sad that he had to leave at the first half of the game because nothing interesting was happening there. And it's fantastic looking at how things are going. As things stands now, it might be good. The league is actually sinking. Yes, and if care is not taken, it will go deep.
And they even took time to, talk about House of Folk struggling or battling to escape
relegation.
And they are going to meet a very tough side,
yes.
Chelsea.
Anything can happen in football, but as we keep on saying, AKUFO is a traditional club, and I doubt they might be going on relegation.
Let's hope so.
Yes.
So, what do you have in the world of sports?
As we started with Ghana Premier League, let's do some Ghana Premier League.
All right.
News. Interestingly, yesterday, out to Mpɔtam United players are boycotted training, and it's so.
Are they still in the league?
Yes, they are in the league. Yes,
Okay.
where they stand is okay, but they can also go on relegation.
Wow.
But yesterday, the playing body of Mpɔtam United had boycott training with immediate effect. Papa Law Sports understands that the salaries of the players have been unpaid for 3 good months, and the club owes them 2 outstanding winning bonuses. Players have threatened to boycott the final league match. And should that happen, it will go a long way to affect the club. It's interesting how getting to the end of the season, things like that are happening. But yesterday, Messi was in the news.
Messi?
Yes, we saw that.
Inter Miami.
Kotoko wanted his signature.
Kotoko can be very funny. They themselves, they are struggling.
You know, it's just
Kotoko.
part of the game. They just we wish it would have been possible. So Messi would have
so that the stadium will be packed. Myself, I would have been there.
Yes, Papa, it's funny. It's funny how things are going with the Messi news. We'll be touching on that very.
But I'm sure it's a strategy.
Yes.
To return back to.
Papa, I'll come on that. We'll go into details.
I'm interested in Messi's way,
yes.
because today he's of the view that if his money would have gone to
Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
There's some interesting speculation around it. Yes, sir. And
that's why we are
Max Okunedu was also in the news. He said, if AKUFO is battling relegation, then what is happening to us is not news. Legon Cities are also looking at things down, battling relegation, and looking at a big club like AKUFO also going on relegation. Probably it's no news when Legon Cities also go. So that was some news from Max Okunedu, yes, former Kotoko coach and Ghana national team coach also. There's interesting news from the CAF Confederation, that is the African Confederation, yes, of football. They said this season, the clubs that will be qualifying for the Champions League and the Confederation, that's like the Europa.
Okay.
Yes, any club that will be qualifying should have a female team.
Okay.
Yes, they should have a female team, and
just to promote female football.
Looking at us, instance now in Ghana, the winner goes to the Champions League, and the second.
The Hazakas ladies, are they there?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They are there, but yeah.
They did some.
This time, what's the name? Mpɔtam ladies qualified. So they will be going. They will play the West African zone first. When they qualify, then they go to the African.
Okay.
Yeah, because of financial constraints, they want to prioritize things. Wow. So as it stands now, our league leader Mediama don't have any female team. Wow. Adriana second also don't have any female team. So. We are looking at how they will go to the African.
Okay.
Yeah, probably they might get an affiliated female club to just go with them. But still,
I think they can adopt some of these.
This local female team. Then they can just. But still on the local news, yesterday, the Ghana Football Awards last year was previewed to be there. This time around, they released the nomination for Ghana Football Awards, and as it stands now, it's interestingly the women's. Let me mention few of the nominees. Yes, the women's team coach of the year. That is Yusuf Basigi. That is the coach for Azakes ladies.
Okay.
We have Joseph.
I like that team.
Yeah, very solid. We have Joseph Akem Angry, who is also Army ladies coach. Yes, and Joe Nana Dakwa, who is from Dakwa.
Fire Service used to have a solid female team.
They are still there.
They actually introduced some of these
yes, they are still there. So as it stands, these three coaches have been nominated for the women's women's team coach of the year. And most vibrant club on social media, we have Accra Masterton also in the Accra to folk also in the Legon Cities, in the Dreams FC, in the and Hazakes ladies also in there. That is the most vibrant club on social media. Yes, so
I like the Hazakes.
Yes, and definitely they might be winning that. And our men's coach of the year, these are the nominees. We have Ibrahim Tanko, Black Matthias, and Accra Lions coach, doing fantastic, qualifying them for the African Cup, and probably might be making an appearance in the Olympics. Yeah, so and we have Johnson Smith, who qualified Nations FC back to the Ghana Premier League, also in there. And we have Evans Adote Mediama, coach, who is leading the league log now. So these are the three nominees for the women's the men's coach of the year. We have men's team of the year. We have Bofuako Tano in the Midiama in the Bechem United. These three teams are the men's football club of the year.
That's right.
we'll be looking at how things stand. And home-based footballer of the year, women. Yes, the home base. Yes, we have Stella Nyamiche, who was the lady, the young captain for the under 17, who won the Waffle Zone B girls. Right. Yes, and we have Mariam Ponson of Ampim Dakwan ladies. We have Comfortable also Ampim Dakwan ladies and Princess Owusu fabulous ladies. All right, so those are the female home-based female footballer of the year. We have home-based footballer of the year. That is Hafiz Kokoni, who is second on the league log goal scoring. We come to Seydou Basit, who is play for Accra Lions. Also in there, we have Vincent Atinga, who is the captain of Mediama. We have Abednego Tete, who is leading the goal chart. Yes, he's leading the goal
Interestingly, he's leading the goal chart. So the national much has not been said about him.
Yeah. It's so
people don't even know this Ishmaelado. You know the name. I mean, you know
Prince
them.
of Goals, Prince Table.
That's right.
You know them. You may just mention.
It's amazing.
Yes. Well, we have goal of the year nominees. Yes. With fantastic. Kudus is in the Thomas Partey match against Arsenal. Also in the Kamadin Suleiman. Also in the Yao Yabua and Eric Zeze also in there. So maybe on Saturday we'll be showing you the goals they used in contesting for this particular awards. And we have Ghana Premier League Goal King award. That is automatic. So the winner of the Ghana Premier League
with more goals,
yes, will automatically win that as well. We have Footballer of the Year. That's we have Mohamed Kudus, Ghana Footballer of the Year. We have Mohamed Kudus. We have John Pencil, and we have Abdul Samit Salis.
John Pencil, which of them?
It's a new player. The dreadlock, very, very fantastic.
But I think he was excluded from
the World Cup. Yes,
but he's a fantastic guy.
Yeah, he generated
during
a lot of
the qualification.
Yes,
he played very well.
Solid. So he's the leading goal scorer for Genk in Belgium. Wow. Yes, so and Abdul Mohamed Salis also in there with Lens, played in France, and they are fantastic in there. But we have female team of the year. We have Dakwan ladies who won the female Ghana Premier League. Also we have Azakari ladies and the Black Princesses who won the just ended Waffle tournament. Right. So these are the three teams fighting for the female team of the year. Yes, so interesting. We have CEO of the year. We have Keichum Chumesidakwa, who is the CEO for the Nations FC. Gifty Owari Mensah, the national service boss.
Right.
Also have a football club, Berry Ladies. Yeah, doing fantastic. And we have Moses Amapaka, who is the owner of Mediama FC. So interesting. This is the
that guy contested
Kets. Yeah, Kets. Yeah.
Is he still lacing his boot, or he's tired?
We might be saying that because as it stands now, there's a new twist in the election. I'll bring you shortly. There's former Nyantechi's man who was also come up to
Kojo
Jansen. Yes, Kojo Jansen, who from Western Region, who's the Western Region RFA president. Also in yesterday in an interview made mention that he might be contesting Kets this particular. But people on social media are just bashing him because he was given $500 million to establish a very solid artifact like a classroom block in Pampram. When you go there, you see it for yourself. People are saying he was even given this a lot of money and couldn't do anything. So he doesn't deserve to be an FA president.
Contesting an incumbent, you need to be tough.
Yes.
We
have African best African international footballer. It's part of the Ghana football nomination. So we have Victor Osimhen of Napoli. We have Riyad Mahrez of Manchester City, and we have Mohamed Salah of Liverpool. So these three
Salah don't count.
So the two, if Mahrez wins the Champions League, it can overshadow Osimhen's.
That's right.
But Osimhen has really done well this season with Napoli.
He's now the best.
It's a very new contest, and we'll see how things go
between Mahrez and then
Osimhen. Yes. Odatelamte Future Award. That is the name of that particular award. It's for young awards. Yes, young people. We have Enes Niama, who won the Danish Best Player of the Year. We have Princess Owusu of Fabulous Ladies and Stella Nyamiche, who is the young captain for the under 17 princesses. So these are the three nominations for the Odatelamte Future Star Awards. So interesting. This is the nomination for Ghana Football awards coming on next month. Yes, voting has begun, and probably it will be all on social media. Then we can see how. But let's do some interesting news from Middle East. Yes, we start with Middle East because
the showdown is there.
The Saudi Arabians are really
they mean business.
They mean business. This is the
and they can sustain that because they have the oil money.
Yes, they actually before they start this project, they plan like 10 years ahead what is going to be after this 10 years phase. So they really plan and push money.
So it looked like I always emphasize.
Yes.
Ronaldo was prophesying.
Yes, he said in the next 5 years the league is going to be one of the five. Yes, and you could see where he stands with this. And he said he knew Karim Benzema will be coming to the league. Probably they might have had discussion already. So right. This football, they talk to themselves a lot. Papa, N'Golo Kante has officially signed for Etihad, so it's going to be
with
Benzema. Yes.
Wow,
and
solid.
The funny thing is, this team, Sule Muntari also went there some years ago before he retired from football. So it's a huge club. They have very huge infrastructure, and they are going to go on vacation there. We're hoping they will make more money. N'Golo Kante's offer increased, I think, $100 million. So
if it's even $10 million, take it like that.
It's funny. Yeah. And we have this Qatar issue also in the mix. Sheikh Yassim, who wants to purchase Manchester United, has officially sent the final bid, take or leave bid, yes, to Manchester United. You know, Manchester United is trying to be. They don't want to.
The Glazers.
They want to. Use one eye to work two, but
that's right.
They just want to be stable, to be very, very careful with who they release the club for. And this man wants to take full right of the club, like what they did with Manchester City.
But the Glazers have no knowledge about
football. So these people want to, and with conditions, Sheikh's own is the best because he wants to pay every debt being owned by Manchester United. Even the players who are going to be giving the axe this season, they will pay all of them outright. He wants to take the club full. But there is another Jim Ratcliffe who is also in the shadows of Manchester United. But from other speculation, they are using that man to increase the bids as time goes on. So what they do is when this man brings a bid, the man will come with more bid. They know this man, Sheikh wants the bid more, the club more, so they're trying to use him to negotiate more. And they've given another concern here to another company, ION, who are also in the news wanting to purchase the club. So yesterday, Sheikh finally sent a bid that is $6.5 billion. So he said it's take or leave. Either you take it or you leave it. I'm done with the back and forth. You probably look for a better club and purchase. So that is finally Messi, Lionel Messi. Yes, yesterday.
Football is Messi. Messi's football.
Messi's teammate, that is now teammate with Inter Miami, Massman, said, he had an interview, he said, I personally think that this club is not ready for
Beckham?
Beckham, the club is being owned by Beckham. Yes, so it's for Beckham. And one of the ex-players was, not ex-current player, was in the news. He said, Massman, that's the name. He said, I personally think that this club is not ready for the arrival of Messi. We have a temporary stadium, that is one. People can just walk on the pitch. There are no gates. We also live for the stadium without security. I think they aren't ready for Messi's arrival, but I hope Messi can put in place because it's a big brand coming to the league, and that's really
a huge figure.
Yeah, they didn't sit well with
economic wise, political wise, everything plays.
Yes. And another school of thought is that Messi might have shares in the club because the contract might include that.
That's right.
Okay, maybe you can be given 5% shares, and you are building your portfolio in that club, so you put the club out there for it to be attractive. Then when you retire, your investment.
Can you imagine the likes on social media from
yesterday?
From this moment,
they actually rise from. They had numbers
like Ronaldo's own.
But they had the numbers, but they had to just shoot up there. So and PSG had to drop with numbers. Yes, Papa. Yesterday, in the dynamics of Messi signing the contract, Al Hilal came in, the Saudi Arabians, they came in last minute with a very huge offer. That was where Messi made that announcement that he thinks the money is too much. He hasn't heard of such amount before. And this was the breakdown for that. Previously, offer was 800 million, but now the new offer is 1.5 billion.
A day.
They wanted Messi to sign.
500
million per man. And that is the entire. Looking at this man, that is the entire worth of Western United. So Messi could have purchased. God. It's interesting. It's interesting how things
money stop nonsense.
Yes, Baba. With the Middle East, the money is there. And Ronaldo did an interview yesterday that he launched his water. He has really now opened a water company. Yes.
No, he owns a hotel.
A hotel in
Morocco.
He has
I was shocked. I said, no wonder Morocco scored Portugal.
But he owns
Ronaldo owns a huge hotel there.
Yeah, one of the biggest in Casablanca.
Medina, the CR7.
And he had the same one too in Portugal and in Spain. So he's really investing.
The guy is smart.
Yeah, really investing. Yesterday he had to launch his water. Yes.
Now in footballers, you do a one.
Asamoah also have a water company.
I like Asamoah is smart.
Yes,
he's a business-minded footballer.
Very
the
smart.
rest will still be begging.
John Painston is also in the news.
Somebody occupied
his uncompleted building and had to get a person arrested,
and he wants to be the guy who brought the news up.
Yes, the man is doing so well. Who
the prison check.
And yesterday he made some comments and it wasn't so pleasant to the public. Yes, Painston said that he thought
come after him.
He will come after him, and what's the name? Christian Achu was cursed by the prisoners he released. Sometimes he said we should allow nature to take its course. That somebody has really sinned and you want to bail the person out. So it's a nature case. But social media isn't really pleased with that comment and the way they are bashing him left and right. And he had to actually release it.
So they are just around here.
Yeah. They had to release a press, yes, and it states, our dear friends and loved ones, I hope this message finds you well. Recently, there have been false accusations circulating on social media regarding an incident involving a 64-year-old man and myself. I want to take this opportunity to clarify the situation and provide facts. Some people unlawfully entered my property at Besasi without my authorization through a window. These people stayed in the apartment for 3 days, sleeping on a mattress bought by my caretaker and subsequently stole it. Thankfully, my caretaker discovered these individuals and took the necessary action to protect my property and well-being. It is important to note that I have no involvement in the subsequent legal proceedings. The decision to arrest and sentence the individual rests solely with the authorities and judicial system. I have no authority to determine the length of the sentence, and as it stands now, let's leave the law to fight its course. Yes, and it goes again. I'm deeply saddened by this false accusation and the impact they can have on my reputation. What makes this situation even more unfortunate to me is that Mr. Ibrahim Mpɔtam, that is the founder of Crime Check Foundation, who brought this to the online people. It is disheartening that the truth was not sought before spreading misinformation. It is my belief that Mr. Ibrahim Mpɔtam in question may have a personal issue with me, as evidenced by his intention to tarnish my image by using my name as the caption. It's worth nothing that the headline could have been Emmanuel Boateng Bill 64-old man. Since Emmanuel plays a pivotal role in bailing, that's a young footballer who came out to bail the man. I think that the whole bid, the whole amount involved was 1,006 something. So
and politicians are chopping millions.
Yes,
they are working.
He ended by saying, "I want to assure you all that I have no role in the arrest or imprisonment of this individual. I believe in the importance of due process and respect the legal system. I value honesty and integrity, and I want to thank all of you who have reached out with messages of support during this challenging time. If you have any further question or concern, please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. Your continued understanding and support means a great deal to me. One of these, maybe we'll have to call him. Since he said we should reach out to him to get more clarification, then he can also take his view on the whole incident. But it's not right. Properties are meant for you, and you can't just enter somebody's property without authorization.
So let's look at it from that
perspective. It's not, nobody will be happy. It's wrong. Yes.
Maybe the approach of
Pencil, might be harsh,
overboard.
Yes, but what they did was wrong. It's illegal. Yes, nobody's property.
Ghanaians are too hypocritical.
Yeah, they want us to.
They leave the the real issue
and deal with
attack the persona.
Yeah. Exactly. We should look at the issue at hand. Should you be happy? Should these people be armed and they went onto the property? What might have happened? And still,
if he had stuff there, that would have been stolen.
Nobody will be happy. You wake up and somebody's sleeping in your room.
Somebody enter
here. Yes, it doesn't Papa make sense in a way. Yes, Papa.
If it's America, your head is blown.
Yes, somebody can shoot you.
Oh, America, what they call mistaken address
identity.
You can just come and knock at their door and they say, why you say, I'm looking for this person.
You can't even come to the place. They have meters. You can't come to my.
The person will just shoot you.
You can't come to my.
Recently, a young boy was shot by an 80-something-year-old man.
I think I read something like that. He went to his property. You can't. Everybody's taking care of himself, and it's bad. It's wrong. Although maybe the approach might be bad, might be harsh, but it's not really.
Maybe it was too brutal.
Exactly. However, the Ghana Beach Soccer Association next week will be officially starting their league, and as it stands, it's interesting and fully packed.
Is it a one-hand cry?
Yes, it's the president. Yes, that is my boss who introduced me to the media. Yes, please. Yes. Nungwa BSC will be taking on Layoka BSC. Layoka is located at Laboma. Okay. Yes, that is where they will be playing their league. And Okere Rangers will be taking on Senya Sharks. Cheetah FC Beach Soccer Association will be taking on Dansuman Beach Soccer, and Sea Sharks, who is being owned by
Cheetah for the that's the fastest animal.
Yes, Sharks. Sea Sharks is the owner. The owner is Indum.
Okay.
But as things stands, even a football club, Nina Sharks is going on relegation. It's really terrible how things have really fell down. They will be taking on Teshi United. So that is some interesting news from the Ghana Beach Soccer Association. Papa, yesterday, West Ham United, I wanted to end with this. Yes, they won. And it's a fantastic one. It's been almost 53 years since they last won a major trophy in Europe. Yes. So
I wish your colleague was here.
Yes, because he predicted. I wanted to. I wanted to. But as it stands now, Papa, this is David Moyes' interesting record for the past 25 years. 10 years ago, he was sacked by Manchester United, and now he's had his hand on the.
When you always coach a disunited team,
they've really done well. And looking at this sequence, Papa, Mourinho. AS Roma also lost the final for the Europa. That is an Italian side. Looking at this time again, an Italian side, Fiorentina, lost again. So Saturday, it's likely you can see the sequence.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Saturday.
But the funny twist of this is, this is the last time West Ham won an European League. Inter Milan won the Champions League. That's another twist. Also,
that's history.
Yes. So we are looking at the sequence now.
That's somebody's
assertion. Thank you, Papa. This is the news for today.
All right, so that was the professor of sport, Eric Mesh. Stand up for the champions. 40 minutes on top of the hour, 8 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papalo Radio. We're streaming live on www.mountainghana.com, onlineradiobox.com. I want you to put into your search engine Papalo Radio /TV. Like the page, put your notification button on so that anytime we come online, you'll be first to be notified. I came, I saw, and I conquered. I'm going for a quick break, and the doctor will take his turn and steer things up for us. Still on the subject, hepatitis. Today, we have two kinds of hepatitis, the acute hepatitis and the chronic hepatitis. Today, we are dealing with chronic hepatitis. Stick and stay right here. Mpɔtam Morning Show.
Come on,
running near Wawa Ball. Mpɔtam morning show near Midindi Papa Law Perfect. Show produced by Ju GH. Host David Santos. Alright, so David Santos,
Attorney General.
and I made the quote to them now.
Yeah.
I said the chassis giddy.
No.
Because
We have a lot.
now was here a report and a report to my and Sana.
Yeah.
We attended to other engagement. Until now, except for say I didn't to a human so no pa. It's just a journalism a human and a broadcast a human a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will say uja wana toho na watu mi aba. Until really yeah motivational quote no.
Okay.
Ni share the na fe yenko newspapers ni share the making headlines.
All right.
We are now the doctor Tosho. Dr. Brefon so beba.
No the
na wa be cheche the hepatitis no we say you acute one you chronic one. Chronic one and the what crofo bebre ho pa.
Oh, okay.
It will be take time to teach us. Na which na no wasanya daji abeshase from the types or beba A Monday or beba B Tuesday C Wednesday no about D na last one no E afena so mo benya efa ka ho a ye begini nyina de aka ho.
And the
Quote,
okay, today our emotional quote goes like this. Congratulate others for receiving their blessings.
Congratulate.
Yeah, others for receiving their blessing. Your time will come. So no need for jealousy. Hashtag standard bearer.
That's right.
Yes.
Now, who say there are people who will not congratulate you. People when they are doing well,
especially when you are living in this country.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
They will jealous you and feel they are even better than you.
Yes.
And the moment you feel you are better than somebody, that is jealousy.
Jealousy. Yeah.
And jealousy is a form of witchcraft. And also a baby.
Yeah.
And this is rampant amongst us.
Yeah.
A lot of people
everywhere
think that you don't deserve it. Santos getting this opportunity, no. I am better than him.
Yeah.
I am handsome than him. I speak well. I have academic credentials more than him and all that. That is a typical Ghanaian. And so, congratulations. It won't take anything away from your life.
Not at all.
By so doing, you are telling yourself that, oh God,
to get to my 10.
Bless me too.
Bless me too.
So, one thing I love about Nigerians is this. When a Nigerian see another brother buy a new car, this is what the other brother will say. Oh, Oga, congratulations. I'm happy that you bought a car.
A car.
I know that God will also bless me with my car.
My car.
That is how it should be.
Yeah.
But Ghana, oh, car nenyefe.
David.
Oh, Bama cry waware no honye fe.
Onim panso sa dem CFL.
Oba no honye fe. Oba no cry si ontumi ngo. Yes oba no. Na member disappointed. Yes no boy prema ni ba.
Oh,
we aware fun we aduane kra mpo no.
Onim nua.
Aduane omo ye. All these things. Maybe amon kan chem.
Oh, there are things that we experience. Yeah.
All because they just want to prove a point that you are not better than them and you don't have a future, you are not going anywhere. So congratulate people when they are successful so that yours will come. Your take?
Yes, so as you said, it seems you said all. All that we need to do is that, you know, the fingers are not equal.
The same.
No. You see, your time will come.
Your time will come.
But when others are jubilating, you have to jubilate with them. By so doing, you are opening the door for yourselves. But when you let jealousy bath you from head to toe, you are rather preventing your blessings. Because what God hates is to jealous somebody.
That's right.
It's not your turn. Just keep calm. And
jealousy will kill you quick.
Okay.
It kills more than cancer. It will cause you to even do the worst. That's what happened to Cain and Abel in the Bible. It's
jealousy.
In the Holy Book. He was jealous of God, of his brother, when God accepted his brother's offering or sacrifice ahead of him and said, really, then I'll kill you. So jealousy can kill or can lead you to kill. So stop it. It's either you are going to kill somebody or that spirit of jealousy can kill you.
Can kill yourself.
Out of that, somebody, out of your success, somebody can kill him or herself. Are you aware?
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware.
Out of jealousy, someone can also kill. So I think we have to.
Yeah, so we don't encourage people to be jealous of someone who is successful. Just, be in the position of the person.
That's right.
And then you are good to go.
All right, so let's go straight to the papers.
Yes.
Those that are making headlines in our various newspapers. I'll take the Okunini, the authoritative daily graphic. Green Ghana here again. Tomorrow's exercise target 10 million seedlings. We are obey Viana.
Nyamine no krenim.
Kano kware obedua na wunua.
Mindua.
Mensu mindua.
I no.
Because you dua na musa twetwe. Musa twetwe. Hunu mo ne na forest ho. Na mu twetwe forest for more. Obi ko twadua na ne odinam kwan so dia stop. Ya che no. Ya jisika.
Ade a ye
ye season nua no. Eti na bebre nyinya stroke no. As a customs officials. Crawford your mokase ni omo yi ni ewia na agifi omo nsem. Etu ko hwe omo awie ya basa.
Se hunu se
enua yi sebe. Enua no ye dua sam ye mfa nya de. Mo se ya de bo ozone layer yi. Se asai. Mo se climatic change. Mugusu ye ho data se bedru baby na wie be boy wasase we so no. Ye ho bedwiri ye. Yet ye dua na makotwa.
Yeah. Enso ade
dua na motwa.
Ade na eskanzo sika.
I'm telling you.
Eka ya bon ansa na ye di yes green Ghana we.
You see,
me dem in dey be.
Gone are the days when people were planting teak. TEEK. Teak. Those ones are used for this electricity.
Yeah, light poles. Okay.
Yes, the wooden one. That's what we call teak.
Okay.
Ghanaians were planting it left, right, center. Go to the Arboretum. Arboretum is around Bunso, where they have the walkway. Like how do you call it? What is this place? Kakum National Park.
Okay.
And so we do all these things. It got to a time people were just cutting teak left, right, center, because Ghana, when you start, like Mr. John Appiah said, anything you start, Ghanaians will follow. And so teak was everywhere. People started cutting it left, right, center.
Yes, it's true.
It became an issue here. How did it end?
Nothing come out of it.
All right, so let's look at it said don't abolish hardcore textbooks. Parliament approves Justice Gertrude Araba Isaba Tokonu. You know, I like her from she's going to be the feet.
The name
the feet CJ. She's going to be the feet Chief Justice.
Yeah,
that's right. OSP clarifies invitation of Professor Frempong Boateng. Go ahead with the Daily Searchlight.
Okay, on the front page of the Daily Searchlight, Nogokpo Peace Council intervenes Nogokpo issues.
That's right.
So that is on the front page.
Anyway, I heard the spokesperson still insisting they still want the bishop in Nogoko to apologize, not on TV. They want to see the bishop there.
Hey,
yeah,
physical.
Yes.
It's not easy. Okay, let me continue. We have Shirigu violence. There was assassination concern, and so that is, you can see a picture of a man wounded. That's so bad there. I wish a lot of people would be online to watch this. That is so bad. It's so bad there. And so that is on the front page of the Daily Searchlight. And then dormitory burns down BBN College of Health and Alliance Science. Yes. And so a burning cry, a burning ewo. And also Green Ghana day enuna ye kan wasem no ye de ye ndua aka one day enya ade a ye bedua bi ye ha ye ho kra say ye kofo ma akwa
Operation Plant a Tree
ye ndua
Operation I won't plant a tree.
Yes, ye na ye wa no ye plant it.
Go and find out the monies they will release. You'll be shocked. We use this for this, we lunch, we use this for that. Those who are going to plan, go and check the expenditure. You'll be shocked. That expenditure can construct roads. I'm not interested in this.
So, Attorney, these are the stories on the front page of the Daily
All right, so
Searchlight.
let's take the new crusading guide. He said MPP elect Charles Opoku as a Senate parliamentary candidate. Support finance minister to successfully implement IMF program. Utikika hashtag Ken must go uprising.
Yeah.
Ken must go. Ken must go. Let's collaborate to halt climate change. KGL Group leads charge for diaspora inclusion. Youth Employment Agency boost government digitalization agenda with 2,000 youth. For the National Voice.
Okay, on the front page of the National Voice, it says government committed to mental health care, AKUFO-ADDO. And then World Bank commit 100
health care and for Abobodam. Many are mad, but few are naked. Anybody
Bodam.
Social media, no, young girl.
Oh, yes.
When you be 18 years, weed to your no one some line 11 years.
Yeah.
And or chikakra.
Yeah.
Or say,
yeah.
This is the way to sniff weed live on camera.
Yes.
And Ghana police up to date have not arrested the lady.
Yes.
To swear.
Also, World Bank commit $150 million additional safety net, and then also Attorney General stores Justice Jones Doche. He says that
he retires today.
Yeah,
he takes a bow out of his 21 years of active service as a judge.
Do you know? I want to take it again. They said something. It's not clear, but I can see that. Say Attorney General Justice Jones Dote describes him as judge's judge.
Yeah.
Lawyer's judge.
Judges of judges.
Yes.
Lawyer of lawyers.
Yes.
Yes. When Justice Doche speaks, he carries a lot of weight. I revere him.
Oh, okay.
Everybody has a shortcoming.
Nicely, I like
once
that.
Once he's human, he has a shortcoming. But when it comes to the judicial service, my God, fantastically, he has done well.
This one, I like the way they described him here. Very, very nice. And I like that.
He's a great guy.
Your man is in the news again. Is there?
Who?
The white man.
The man in white.
Yes.
The man who always carries the purse of this country.
Yes.
And pours the
Calavant
money
anywhere.
Pours the money into the Tano River.
Yeah. For that, I'm not aware of that. You are saying it.
He has been pouring it.
Okay.
That's how come we are the IMF.
Okay.
If the economy is buoyant, we wouldn't be there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they said it.
The economy is quasi-localized economy. Quasi-localized economy.
Yeah. Okay, so it says ensure successful completion of IMF program. Financial analysts rally support for financial minister. And then we also have KGL Group promote diaspora inclusion at Ghana Investment Summit.
The Chronicle, trial for perjury, etc. I don't care hoots. Like just a Canada for bro for now. I don't give a hoot. I don't give a damn.
Yeah. God damn it.
God damn it. I don't care hoot. It's just bullying. Jachi Kwesi tells constituent. Gold export rake in $6.6 billion in 2022. Parliament approves Tokonu's nomination. Former Ministry of Housing Chief Director wheeled to court. I say which credo be court.
Yeah. Minister unim na.
I see a friend
Fantana.
Graphic showbiz.
Oh, and a den. Yeah.
Yemfa de panto.
Yemfa de panto.
Jamansem.
Yeah.
The meaning of a Jamansem is a say on mine. A Jamai.
Okay.
That's the meaning of a Jamai.
Okay.
Because in the Bible, a human being is described as a nation. So when you
nation,
do these things, it breaks the nation.
Yeah.
Such a thing.
Blame profane songs for social air.
Yeah.
NCC director.
Yeah.
Easy to survive as female artists in Ghana. Fantana. Yeah, feel Hawaii. The anchor. Ketua Bierensa, Alan Cash begs for cash. Alan or your cash or sample cash.
Or sample cash.
No, you cry so edgy jiska.
Why no? Why?
Obezo.
Oh, that say, and you
Obezo a bisebiseska. Ketua Bierensa.
Yeah.
Obia say Obia say supporting. Mahama so jijibi. Say Mahama so jijibi.
Yeah.
Mahama. Onapo.
Mama.
Alan Cash begs for cash. Launches fundraising campaign today. Take the business analyst and then.
Okay.
We are here.
Okay. On the front page of the business analyst, it says crude oil contributed 3.7% to Ghana's GDP in 2020. And then that is the report that is in now. And then restructure Ghana's finances to win it off IMF. And then
one of the fine brains when it comes to economy.
When you power.
Yeah. He's still alive.
Or say yes.
He knows what he talks about.
Okay, and then GDP growth rate, Ghana to place 42nd position in sub-Saharan Africa in 2023. Africa needs
Baumia said the economy is back on track.
Yeah.
You remember yesterday we spoke about it.
So now
but it's here the 42. How many countries do we have in Africa? 53
we have 53 going.
Okay.
It seems that Bako Krabe come.
Yeah. In sub-Saharan Africa in 23.
Yeah.
Any baby era call. Won some Mpɔtam morning show near Papa Law Perfect. We're streaming live on www.ghana.com, onlineradiobox.com. Stick and stay right here. It's time for you to know the truth. The only place where you find truth is on Papa Law Mpɔtam morning show. Here we say it as it is. We inform you, we educate you, and we entertain you above all. Alright, so stick and stay right here. The best is yet to come. We are done with the newspaper review. My baby, ye femino me noira. Sitre be ye femino me noira. Yamwa wonsum yamwana Ghana and funny tamapemfra Ghana yamenodia. The best is yet to come. The majority in parliament declares #Ken must go. Entire Caucus would have to take a decision on finance minister. Majority leader declares. Majority leader or say chairman Sabonsu says MPs will have to take a decision on finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta as some members revive calls for his removal. Remember some few months ago the majority in parliament, some ministers, about 98 of them, raised an alarm indicated that the finance minister must be sacked. More than 100 MPs last year stirred controversy when they demanded the dismissal of the president's cousin. After some back and forth, the president promised to act on their demand after the International Monetary Fund deal is finalized. Saba, first tranche about $600 million. Ofori-Atta, a year. What's it? Oh, yeah, Juma Magana free. Yes, you say, yeah, pay free. Jai na quite. Oh, yeah, Juma Mobi free. Or sick or semenko. I say, what you unyam? Despite the approval of Ghana's $3 billion bailout by the International Monetary Fund, the minister remains at post. Majority leader Osei Mensah Bonsu says the entire caucus must take a stand on the minister's fate, adding that the entire majority caucus must engage to know the way forward on the issue. The hashtag Ken must go uprising. That one, it has to be determined by the caucus. So let's leave it to what determination that the caucus comes to, he said. He, however, noted that if the decision making becomes necessary, they have to meet with the president on the matter. According to him, although it is sometimes good to let sleeping dogs lie, we should also consider the fact that the engagement with the IMF is over. Member of Parliament for Subin constituency, Eugene Boachi MP, recently told Joy News that MPP MPs who called for the dismissal of the finance minister in 2022 are waiting to hear from President AKUFO-ADDO on the way forward. Speaking on top story, Mr. MP said that only the president has the executive powers to dismiss Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, and thus their job as MPs was to expose the shortcomings of the minister and why he should not occupy his office. So far as we are concerned, we have demonstrated to the entire country and the whole world that this is our decision on difficulty with the continued stay of Ken Ofori-Atta. We are waiting for the majority leader to either convene a meeting or for the president to convene a meeting with the majority caucus and tell us the way forward. The Subin MP noted. 4 minutes on top of the hour, 9 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papalo Radio, Mpɔtam Morning Show with Papalo Perfect. My co-host David Santos. Show produced by Judy. According to TV3, OSP arrested and placed Frimpong Boateng on a 2 million CD bail. According to TV3, Frimpong Boateng's arrest took place 2 weeks ago as part of investigation of corruption and corruption-related activities on the work of the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining and the Anti-Galamsey Task Force. I have on the line, it's time for us to go and be educated on this pertinent subject. The doctors are here. Dr. Brefo Apau Leslie of Standards Clinic in Koforidua is already on the line, and he's going to teach on the subject hepatitis, focusing on the chronic hepatitis. Doc, good morning.
Good morning, boss.
How are you doing, and how's the family?
I'm good. Everyone is fine.
We bless God. We bless God. Welcome to Papalo Radio on Mpɔtam Morning Show as well.
Thank you.
Doc, how are your patients? I should say, sorry. Your patients doing?
They are all fine.
All fine. Yeah. So the home care service is still.
Yes, we are still on
here.
it.
All right. So we'll talk about it. But let's go straight. I know you are busy now at the consulting room. That's right. So let's go ahead with our lectures for today. Hepatitis, chronic hepatitis.
All right. Last time we talked about acute hepatitis. So I defined hepatitis as inflammation of the liver. Inflammation of the liver, and I made mention that acute hepatitis is having inflammation of the liver within a period of less than 6 months.
That's right.
Yes. So when you talk about chronic hepatitis, it refers to the chronic inflammation of the liver of more than 6 month duration.
Wow.
With persistently elevated liver function test. Yes. So if not treated, chronic hepatitis can progress to liver cirrhosis.
Okay.
it can get to portal hypertension. You can get hepatic encephalopathy, and we have hepatocellular carcinoma. I will break them down.
I'm telling you.
Now, if
I was like, why am I in heaven already?
if you talk about liver cirrhosis,
okay.
Where Chikasamu say yes, it will be a tra. Oh, it will be a tropeo. That is the liver cirrhosis. Say if it gets put liver and it gets to that stage. That's what we get. We talk about liver cirrhosis. Now we have hepatic encephalopathy. They have. Last time I talked about confusion in patients with such acute hepatitis. You get it. So it can lead to this problem, mental problem.
Okay.
In these stars, yeah. So we have, and you can get the hepatocellular carcinoma. This is a type of cancer that affects the liver. So if you have hepatitis and you are not treating it, these are some of the things that you can get. Now, immunization against hepatitis B is now available for children under the expanded program on immunization.
Okay.
So adults in general, we can be immunized against hepatitis B infection. After you've run some lab tests and you don't have, you can run it. You see. Now we have some causes of chronic hepatitis. As I made mention for the acute hepatitis. The causes, we have the hepatitis B virus, the hepatitis C virus, the hepatitis E virus.
Okay.
So these are the three major causes of chronic hepatitis. Yeah.
So how do I know if I have this chronic hepatitis?
Okay, thank you. Now, the symptoms of chronic hepatitis mimic the same symptoms as acute hepatitis. So usually, some of them are usually asymptomatic. When you talk about asymptomatic, it means you will not see anything. You'll be there, you live your normal life unless you've done the liver function test or you do this hepatitis screen.
Okay.
That's when you get to know that you have a chronic hepatitis. You get it. And we also, you can get this mild non-specific symptoms, like as we talked about the other day. We have the fever which occur 1 to 4 weeks before jaundice appear. We have the right hypochondriac pain. The other day I made mention of these things. We have anorexia. But aside this, you can get recurrent fever. It's ohoyeshi and you may anope ohoyeshi you know na ahwajo. Also rubia or chana ahwasayeshi. So recurrent ekonaba, you get it, recurrent fever. Now we have atragia. When you talk about atragia, we talk about joint pain. Joint pain. Joint pain. So you'll be feeling joint pains all over. Now we have malaise, like you get it. Jaundice is to part. Jaundice. And you cry there is a sign. And you cry the first sign if you're having these liver problems. Now we have these terms that I don't know unless I have diagrams to explain. We have palmar erythema, clapping, unsano, ubonsa, o nails, no, a bear kakra.
Okay.
What I say, we have another sign is gynecomastia. When you talk about the gynecomastia, or bear marbles or no for
wow. I see.
Or no for now we have testicular atrophy. Also, testis no air shrinkage. The testis air shrinkage. So that's what we call testicular atrophy. So these are some of the signs of chronic liver disease or chronic hepatitis. Other ones, we have the ascites. When we talk about ascites, fluid accumulation in the abdomen. We want to ashe. Yes, and the flash and I so be in a funnel I that is another sign. And we have the encephalopathy. When we talk about encephalopathy, we talk of the mental state. It affects the mental state of the patient. Now we have peripheral edema. When you talk about peripheral edema, you see that online, you have to say online tatai. Onano, almost umia, a tomb.
That's right.
On umia, onine tomb. You see a cheap umia, secret dima, also yes, a chair, atom. So if you see these signs and symptoms, you have to go to the hospital as soon as possible for evaluation and management.
Amazing. So, is there a specific lab investigation that can be done to detect
Chronic hepatitis? Yes. Yeah, we have various and a lot of investigations that we do for patients with chronic hepatitis. Some of which are liver function tests, as I said last 3 days for acute hepatitis. So you do the liver function test to see how the liver is functioning. We will do full blood counts to know whatever is going on in the blood. You get it? If there's an infection going on. Now we do HIV test too, because normally people with HIV have their immune system being compromised.
Okay.
So if the immune system is compromised, you can get hepatitis. You get it. So we can also do abdominal ultrasound scan. Yes. Then we have liver biopsy. Now, those with the chronic hepatitis B, specifically, if you are not that you have hepatitis B, we can do the hepatitis B surface antigen. We can do the hepatitis B viral load, and also the chronic hepatitis C. We can do the hepatitis C virus antibody testing. We can do the hepatitis C RNA. We can do hepatitis C genotyping. So these are basically the investigations that we normally do for patients with chronic hepatitis. Yes. So if we get a chance again, our next topic, we're going to talk about hepatitis B.
That's right.
I had a call yesterday from one of your listeners, and he wanted us to talk about hepatitis B. So I would like to take this.
But Doc, I think we can start from the A, because
you like start from the A, right?
yes,
Okay,
so
then I
that
think
we finish with the E. Yeah.
Okay, then
Yeah.
please tell your
So
listeners
I
that
will
you
do
start
that.
with
So we'll do, listeners, we'll do hepatitis A. Is a whole lecture from A to E. So
Yes.
we'll try as much as possible and do that probably tomorrow. And then Monday we'll do the B. Doc, finally, is hepatitis, the chronic hepatitis, manageable? If it's manageable, how
Yes,
can we manage it?
yes, it's manageable. And if you have it, we have the treatment objectives for it.
Okay.
Some of which are, we have to, when you come to the hospital, we do our best to prevent the disease progression and complications.
Okay.
And we try as much as possible to prevent hepatic encephalopathy. And we do our best to improve the liver function. We have to also, we do our best to prevent the transmission. So some of the non-pharmacological management that we have to do is the prevention of transmission to partners. So if you have a chronic hepatitis, you don't know the type. So you have to know the type of the hepatitis you are having. So if you are having hepatitis B, which is transmissible, like you can transmit it for one patient to another or one partner to the other. So you have to prevent the transmission to partners, most especially by practicing protected sex and not sharing of toothbrushes and shafts, blade, needles, and other things. So also you have to avoid body piercings. You have to avoid tattoos. You have to avoid these cultural classification practices.
That's right.
You get it. And these circumcision practices that they normally do. If you do that circumcision, then it has to be done at the hospital. It shouldn't be done at
Now, Doc,
place.
monesi for your monso and nam if you muchucha so almost yes.
And only answer mono because go how bit number so bad. Next Saturday, you'll be able to my pump.
Me does.
You know, dear.
But I know some of the nurses who do that. When they even bring the case there, they also call me. Remember, if you come home.
Making sure say any man or day bano let put it that way. I want to and why
should be sterilized.
Yes, please. And yes, or buy Anna or Barbara here channel code. No.
So but the best option is to be at the hospital. That's it.
Yes, please. Yes, please. And some of the treatments, we have the lifestyle and dietary advice.
Okay.
So we have household screening. Household screening. So if someone is having this chronic hepatitis and the person comes to your facility, you do your best and educate the person. Then you go to where he or she is living. You do a household screening to get those who are affected. Then you treat them. So you avoid alcohol. You avoid these hepatogenic drugs such as paracetamol and this herbal preparation. The patient has to rest, have enough rest. The patient has to take in high calorie fluids, most especially the glucose drinks, fruit juice, cocoa, rice water, mashed kinky. You get it? These are some of the things that the patient has to do. And for the pharmacological treatments, I entreat you to go to the hospital. And if you've gone to the hospital and you've been given drugs, you try as much as possible and take your drugs. Because if you take your drugs, you are not dying. And if you take your drugs and you adhere to our protocols, whatever we tell you, you are not dying. You stay longer. So you entreat each and every one who has this hepatitis to go for treatment. Thank you.
Doc, thank you very much. Always a pleasure having you on our morning show.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. So tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. So that was Dr. Mpɔtam Leslie of Standards Clinic in AKUFO-ADDO. I'll go for a quick break. And when I'm back, the politicians will take the center stage.
Can you bring the wafa? Empower ways now, winner. Yamishira, how many payers the four? And Yanum. That's why Yamistroya, Jumana, Yami Besrayan, O'Brien, Boya, and Moyamurae, Abeya, Efianara, Amabaya, Efianara, Ejanoma, I sit there. Asampaetia Obayansa fuso wo munibia wonka na asam Ze mafutu sam kakre wa supeme Yo kofi Oman ya woman Omani ya mamana Genyi baby ako
Yeni baby ako what a morning show near 23 minutes on top of the hour 9 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papalo Radio. We streaming live on www.modernghana.com online radiobox.com. Our reporter is on the line. Ohineba Kofi Prince. Ohineba Bokodiye.
Nyame adum papa.
Machi.
Yeja.
Opo mu ti say.
Oh, twedi amfo na adum temi ho yefa.
Wanya shama akoko bi adi.
Ashama akoko die. Sana ni ama eye die ye be de nya ashama akoko.
Me hwa ope. Me hwa ope wa che pa.
Oh, wa che die ye.
Na ko be ni so e.
Go be no. Once a beans na ye de wa che ni ntia no ano no. Nti unya wa che na beans ne fra ntia no ano no.
Yate. Yate. Ehifa na ojina sisi ya.
Okay, papa, mami cheche otiefo na me mamo, me mbo mabaso mo bo adwuma.
Papa. Mpɔtam morning show de boje nimpa.
Papa, ye din ni ehunam sepa Mpɔtam. Enti no, oba ashama nse ya, ashama die. Oh, papa law. Enti ya do ade na se.
O se ni omo build omo communities omo Mpɔtam no. Ya ni so ade hu no nti ni traditional media ni bia na omo face omo bro so ne ebebu omo ani egu so ne ye mbu ya ni ngu so.
Eno ni ade bakwa ama ya yesronko efa other media platform no. Yeah. Tete ma be pie mu eye Zenu. Ashama Zenu. Eye star oil filling station anymore.
Okay.
Now, maybe you know,
I think Zenu is one of the popular areas in Ashama. Somebody like me, I've heard about Jericho, I've heard about Tanika, yes, a couple of the Middle East and all that.
Okay. Lebanon, Jericho moment so my konina. Enti ena de e bi be pie mu wo Zenu star oil enimwa. Na wo hwe mfoni a me de amamu a me de asan mu a o se omo bre eba akwan na akwan no oma kwan no nye ba.
Ena su de nsu ato.
Akwan ne de papa. Enra nsu nsu etoye no. Ena ma kwan no asai. Kwan ne nye nti su to
meba. Atiefo obia mra Facebook sesia anako YouTube Papalo Radio/TV na kohwe akwan a Zenu for ne nam so me no kasa yi obia kope na no aduane abedi na ohwe omo gota yi se de da hɔ a ye ntwa gota na ensuo efi enamu yare nko a na de ma manfo na tete we odi oba a wonyem fa so akofi obanyim obepon
Obewu papa
hwe krofo bi kran so ti gota nim o hwe gota na emu asikura
because na ade ba ko say o say oba ha ni say na omo problem Ashama in particular omo major problem akwan omo major problem akwan na baby amiti na na star oil ni Zenu no
that's right
apa sa akwan we obetumi gina so for the past 1 hour ukwa adwuma traffic betumi achew be 1 hour na da so gina
enam se kwan na nye
kwan ni nti enam
Ohineba yahore yenua Ohineba wo ahoma no so yebesa afred ne ye de nato ahoma so David Santos se wo hwe emfoni yi a
Yeah.
Me hwe wa ha ya o hwebe ho. Na unim de am wan say Ashama photo abapa o.
Papa.
One of the most populous constituencies in Ghana. Na o hwe ba bi a Kofi ye hwe wa homa ne so to aso e.
Okay, enti sana me ka no. Na me ka say o ba ha na o pese o pente makwa adwuma ana wa appointment bia. Esa ne say kwan no ni situation na kwan no say na kwan no tini tu betumi anya betumi di 1 hour or traffic mo. Yes, because say kwan o hwe kwan na gata na especially kwan gata no so.
Eti Kofi say o hwe opposite direction where ehwe animu a asa kwan ya wo kan zenu no obi a wo tie ye no obeda hu ba bi potia sa kwan yi wo odi wani ko opposite direction north ne south no north ne ko Kroben so biem na south ne so ko Kroben so.
Okay, the diamension is an ocean the benkum so a asenkafo no mo fi me benkum so eba nyina no omo free asiaman sama market wo no eba na omo wo meni ekere kataman so eko Lebanon eko Atadaka me benkum so ka sa efiri nyina ba nyina eko kataman so man so ene Apollonia na o free me slifa so eba ka sa na efiri nyina ba so free ono eko asiaman efiri wo eko asiaman enti the diamension ni enfifini dia ya enfifini ema Asama ne Apollonia ne Kataman so.
There is a way a major road that you copy Asama Kroman Kasa.
Pepe. Enti hono na ye problem.
You said a bicycle and nam ho just hu areho. Just a ho basa. Gota ne kra na hemi wan. O se se wo hwa Kofi video ya wo se ne ba yi. Gota no eda ho but emu asi. Enti ensuo ni tumi emfa mu biem. Ma wo se brantie bi wo ho a wo mo try say o mo beyim nyame nhire o mo ya o man papa wo mo so we o ye ya de besa no asan besisa dotie na gu because say eni ho a wo kina wo nya ne chop money areho o de to aso
enti brantie a hu o mo se o mo ye adwuma yi o mo ye ngofo bi a me beto mo anana o mo ye adwuma no so mo bu asem ntuna efri esoro ba no sane down no because some say benkum sun say na baby American say ashama from ashama ndo me ni chere kataman so no hono na nsuni free because hono yes sane enti nsuni no sane efi esoro nyina eba enti mranche no omo adwuma omo ye ne say to mu say hono esia man nsunu nko nsunu entumi nya kwan emfa gata no enti ebufa kwan no mu makwan no ene makwan no situation kwan no na access si a wuni si a o Facebook yi ya no the problem wa ne se gata no omo ya gata ni ye pe kwan no so be ye but ade ba ko me bi se say omo ka chem ne say assemblyman no oba no aba be o de gravels abegu so o de gravels bu so pe no we yi nani o de gravels bu so pe no we yi nani nti sunu so tope na achi esa ne se gata no sunu nti sunu to na ebu fa so a na achi gravels na ye de gu kwan no nyina ya da I dey go gu a fan away to
anye bia assemblyman or a contractor
aba hu enti ya me bi
say omo be boka akopɛ contractor na why proper artwork no wa kire say gota e wosi ebiem na ensuo na to because say video ya send by hwe gota kitikiti bi hwe kwan ne kakraka na hwe gota da ho ebeye den na ensuo na tumi akɔ aye du ba bia wu minim se ye tina si so no ye mfa ndwin a sebe minim se ye ndwin a I don't know hwe oye dodo a oye zenu a enipa dodo benze ne wo
o zenu nipa dom wa ha o se ha no makoye bia bia new site oni be ka se new site ankofo na etu bataba ha ebetena ebedi omuduma so ha sei enti zenu ufu zenu Atadaka ekọ nyina no bia bia new site ankofo ere ba betena ho enti nkofo wo kodum o ta nkofo wo ho pa edi afone aba enti ade bia cars efaso de bia hospital ko menim kakaka hospital wo honom hospital so na drivers no so use kwan na dey up and down enti na problem
kwan na nya
ba ko say Ezi Ashama there major problem. Don't get to a shop and say, go efa Ashama hu nyina no. Problem ya kwan.
Kodano me say wo de ekọ Jericho e ho so saa.
Ta pepepe.
Na obi pie Mandela ene nenso.
Mandela.
Wo zenu. Honorable assembly member, honorable DC, monye the needful. Make sure somebody the needful because a choir ye shady nye. Monshe na monye choir no. Mamon train ma election ru and san monsha says a moye. Kofi enche ye bemo ako brepamu nase weekend ya nase juada. Ebe wako Gulf City ho so airtime Gulf City kwano baby a shama runabout e no wodi wani eko north south na wokwa kosombo wokọ right a wokọ Gulf City wokọ ye kan say left a wokwa shama wokọ straight a wani kira kosombo no o hwe se kwan na eko right a wodi ko Gulf City na echen gotes nye.
We nye porto so we gata pa we nye porto.
Kofi o man for ni bi wo ho e betumi ni o ma twetwe
ma me ne mfa ma abrante bi o ha na oni ni.
Ma me ne ba ko penkasa ye bre ni nti. Opanyi machi. Hello.
Hello opa.
Opanyi machi.
Ya opa.
Memo akwa baba Papa Law Radio so Mpɔtam show ni. Oyi obi a mpacho efre osai.
Ampacho me de pabla.
Ahimfa na ojina zia zenu meboa.
No zenu style.
Adia na obetuma kafa makwan ya ye ho reporti.
Oh, opa oba Ashama Mpɔtam se uti Ashama ba zenu atama so emoni New York ma kwan no na ha mo pa na esi ahanso no fansa hoho na hiya no mabegu nti so to say na gates na mo ye gates ni susa isi ababi ejina star yo obo mo gata na isuo no to efamu no efi manso ne ya pen say school junction mu nyina aba no isuo no to gata ka che na efamu befa kobet ni mu nyina no gates ni susa isuo no to pe na bu afa kwan no so chama o se mu gbe gata ni mu kakra emomo isuo to ama accident
ekoso accident nyina
accident debre mu kola ni mu panifo ene ade ti matna ache matna be se 5 years na mpam chom be boy road
ye bohu dero na mo MPD atudwa se obetu na mo anante Ashama Mpɔtam ni enkura kekeka ho no wahwe makwan say obenemi ni nyina chocho all the deplorable rules no ba be chocho na wahwe kwan obefa so obetumi alobi ana wahwe kwan obefa so obetumi ama makwan ya yiye ni nyina ma but Papa Law Radio de modi atu ye nimu ye ne mo Ashama ne tema de ye bebo hu deru akopem se assemblyman district chief executive and say municipal chief executive or Ashama any mo MP ebe ka omontama bom na ne wo so mo ye na o ma ye de amam tie da se so ne ye kasa
yo pa chom me boy why
yeguso
yo
Kofi
okay baba
me do besi ya ye da se pa
na me bi sane say we say e hwan na sade ene so ya de
ye assembly asedi
me jama mo na matua post
MP ni de onye developing officer onye developer obetuma lobby nti the district assembly or majumanti MC you know or in consultation with ne team no e was so mutumi etu anamo ye beda se ye reporter Oheneba Kofi Press na ye ne twetwe nkomo no na ye befre ye nua baako Carl or ye MPP Greater Accra or na ye coordinator communication coordinator ye ne ba betwetwe nkomo na yahwe kwan a ye befa so a ye betumi ahyehye Ghana yie de Ghana akosi babie wo sese David Santos
Attorney General
yeah
pa.
But let me hold the line. hold your breather. Let me go on the phone and speak with Honorable Carr. He's the Greater Accra coordinator for the MPP. Near Kikahono. He will add it to it. Honorable, good morning. Honorable, good morning. Honorable. All right, so we haven't challenged establishing contact with Honorable Carr, but Ashama for a now, Kofi Kamwasem, Ushe video na Messia film. Me take a fidikesi echi, Messia film, papa. Yeah.
It's very bad. You know, we live in a country whereby we have people that they also vote.
That's right.
They are also human beings. They also deserve to be better in their constituencies or their locality where they live.
They pay tax. Now,
Now,
at least if people are not paying the usual tax, at least the e-levy. The e-levy.
You even
people are paying.
People are paying, and it's not good to leave these people like that.
That's right.
And if we want to go into statistics basis when it comes to voting aspect, a lot of votes comes from Ashima.
Yeah. One of the populous constituencies. All right, so hold your breather. Let me go on the phone and speak with Honorable Carl. He's the Greater Accra communication coordinator for the MPP. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good by the grace of God.
We thank God. I hope the family is fine.
God is watching over us.
We thank God. We thank God. Sorry, we know you are very busy and you are flying from one place to another, not walking or moving. You are flying. So forgive us. So welcome to Papalo Radio and then Mpɔtam Morning Show.
It's my pleasure.
Honorable, do us the
I'm grateful for the opportunity. And let me also say a very good morning to your listeners across the various networks that they are following with.
All right, Honorable, do us this favor. Sorry, doing it on air. Give us your full name. You know, I have been calling you Carl, but the production wants to put your original name or full name on the screen.
Okay, my name is Jesse Apia.
Jesse Apia, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. And
the Carl is a name that I have come to be associated with, even though it is not mine.
I can see that. That's great.
You know, there are instances I mention my name and everybody goes like, and I said Carl. I said,
All right, so your position, I think Greater Accra.
Okay, I'm an assistant to the regional communication director. Okay. That is Honorable Adam Sabo. We are two assistants, myself and Philip Asefwa.
That's right.
And then my role is to coordinate media.
Okay.
So I'm a media coordinator for MPP in Greater Accra.
That's amazing. Talking to you like this, we need to be careful because you know more than we know.
I don't know more than you know. I think that what I tell people is that politics is about sharing of ideas. That's and right. You know, that's right. It's a learning curve. So when I don't know, sometimes I try to call my seniors who know and then take advice from them on certain positions. So it's a learning curve. I I wouldn't say that I'm an authority on anything, but by the grace of God, we try to, because as a teacher, I try to give explanations on issues that I understand and understand very well.
On a lighter note, Ido. All right.
I understand.
Honorable, what's happening in the MPP's camp currently? What's the major news headline you would like to share with the public before we go to the main subject?
Currently, I think that in the NPP, the most current and the hottest is about the presidential primaries. That's you know that.
That's right.
I think currently about 10 people have picked their forms. Exactly. Yes. And you know that as the tradition is in the NPP, we're going to go for the super delegates to select 5.
That's right.
So that is the most topical thing. Now, but then again, another important thing, obviously, that's what we're going to talk about, is also occupying the minds and the plans of our leadership, and that is Asin North.
Okay.
You know, the seat originally was ours.
That's right.
And it was taken. So the mission or the plan is to get it back.
All right. So
these are the two major issues.
All right. So yesterday, our reporter was at Asin AKUFO-ADDO yesterday, and once the MPP, were voting, he was taking some reports on the grounds, and before the election had even started, there were two major contenders, Freeman and then Charles Opoku, and finally Freeman lost the election to his major contender, Charles Opoku. The NDC raised an issue ahead of the election or your election, claiming he's an unqualified candidate, and the EC also responded, and he went into another race of equalization. The EC had to tell the NDC, hey, Akwesia Mankwa, your candidate at the time at Kumawu, was also not a voter in the constituency. His vote was actually in the Greater Accra region. Yet we allowed him to, run for the office. So there's been this back and forth until finally the MPP had voted and declared their support for Charles Opoku. Why that decision?
First of all, I think that this morning I'm in love with a former NDC member of parliament.
That's right.
And I say I'm in love with him not because I like his stance on the political side, but I think that for the first time he has decided to let Ghanaians know that when it comes to the law, it does not know which side of the political divide you stand. The law is always superior.
That's right.
And so Honorable Enisa Fusini yesterday educated Sami Jemfi, who is the originator of the whole issue.
That's right.
That he erred and that he didn't understand the proper interpretation of the law. And for that matter, he feels that for anybody in the NDC to say that the Electoral Commission is in bed with the NPP and colluding with them to steal the elections for the NPP was a mistake, and he has advised him to, as a matter of urgency, put a stop to all kinds of propaganda that he is doing on that side. So I think that I wouldn't even want to go into who has done this or who has done that. We know people who were members of parliament in a different constituency at one time, like Mutala. At one point, he was a member of parliament in one constituency, I've forgotten, and then now he's moved to another. When Ras Mubarak was contested for elections in Ablekuma North here, the next moment he's moved to Kumbungu to go and contest. We have so many examples. The bottom line is that for you to be able to contest any election, you should have been a resident of that area for up to about 5 years.
That's right.
So so that is the basis. That is what the law says. So for anybody, for the sake of propaganda, to say that the person is not a registered voter, then so for that matter cannot contest, the law has spoken. And I think that we should let it slide. The only good side, or the only thing that I take from it, is that the NDC recognizes the formidability, or how formidable Charles Opoku is. And for that matter, they knew that once he's elected, the seat is for the NPP. And that is why they were raising all kinds of issues. But I think that hitherto then there are no issues at all.
All right.
Because if the NDC are quote and unquote comfortable to present a candidate who is before court being trialed on criminal issues, I don't see why they should worry about someone who is eligible, someone who who the law says she is 21 years and above, should be of sound mind. Exactly. So I think that they are afraid of our candidate. Bottom line, that is why all this will have been. Otherwise, there's no case at all.
Okay, so let's look at Charles Opoku, his persona. Why has the MPP reposed so much confidence in him? From the grapevine, we heard you were already ahead of time, raising Freeman to take up this particular tax until you realize that strategically it might not work in your favor. So let's bring somebody who can woo a lot of the electorate to our side. And eventually it has gone well for Charles Opoku. What is the brain behind the selection of Charles Opoku?
I think that for anyone to say that the NPP was grooming or was wooing for Freeman to become the candidate does not understand the sort of democracy that exists in our party, NPP. The NPP believes in free and fair contest. We believe that everybody who has the capacity and the wherewithal to lead a party, either at the constituency level or at whichever level, should go through the necessary form of test, would be it elections or whichever. And that is exactly what happened. I don't think that the party favored any candidate. The party, but the first thing is that the party wants the best, the seat back, and therefore we want the best. And to bring out the best, one of the things that brings out the best in people is competition, and that is exactly what has happened. So I think that it's a victory for NPP, is a victory for the people of Asin North, and it's a victory for democracy. That is what I would say.
That's right.
Charles, I think that I have not been on the grounds, but because we have interest in the elections,
that's right.
The information we are picking is that everybody feels that Charles Opoku, or most of the people who voted, felt that Charles, and you realize that in the margins, the margin of vote.
That's right.
I mean, we got more than twice what Freeman got.
He had 3.
It means that our people, exactly. It means that our people are ready and willing to support that candidate to wrestle the seat for us. And I think that the plan is to be able to wrestle the seat back. You know, that was a seat that Honorable Droa was occupying. So the agenda is to get it back. And we'll try and do everything legally and humanly possible to make sure that we get our seat back.
Coincidentally, he also comes from Breku, the capital of Asin North constituency.
Exactly.
Is that a strategy to counter Jachikweisen? Because Jachikweisen has a lot of influence in the community. Some of the community-based people spoke out of in favor of Jachikweisen, saying he's done a lot for them. They are okay with him. They don't see why they should change. The others who are also of the view that the MPP has done a lot, initiated about 112 projects within their jurisdiction. So there must be a change this time around. What do you see from your own view and observation as a political expert? What do you see the chances of the MPP over the NDC?
Like I have said, if you're going into a contest, you present your best. And the information on the grounds is that the MPP couldn't have presented a better candidate than Charles Opoku. We've listened to a lot of people who feel that the best way to recapture that seat is bringing Opoku into the contest. So, like I've also stated earlier, the agenda is to do whatever is legally and humanly possible to get the seat back. And selection of our candidate, first of all, is the beginning of the process. And we will do whatever it takes legally and humanly possible. And I'm very careful with the choice of my words. We don't want to say we will do everything possible, including sacrificing lives. We will not do that. And I take a cue from the sitting president, Nana AKUFO-ADDO, at a point when he says that he is going to be voted to lead people. And for that matter, if people will die for him to become president, he doesn't see why he should become president, because if all the people die, who is he coming to lead? So we're going to do everything legally and humanly possible to ensure that victory becomes ours, so that we can continuously strive to turn around the economy for the good people of Ghana.
A situation where your political opponent are on the grounds and you keep meeting when you go on a campaign trail. Once the NDC leaves a household, the MPP goes there. A lot is happening there. What would be your strategy to edge as winners out of this context?
I think that going into a contest, you don't disclose your strategy.
That's right. Okay.
No, you won't do that. So all that I can say is that we'll do what is legally and humanly possible to win the election. But the strategy, I'm not even permitted to say that.
Certainly.
Because exactly, because you don't want to tell your enemy what your next move will be.
All right, so hashtag Ken must go. I'm sure you've come across this
publication. Please, I want your permission to address one particular issue.
Right. Go ahead, sir.
Getty question has been presented by the NDC as their candidate.
That's right.
Unfortunately, Getty question is also standing trial
for perjury,
and it's a criminal one as such.
That's right.
In the unlikely, and I choose my words carefully, in the unlikely event, I know he will not win. But God forbid if he wins, and then the trial goes on, and he's convicted of the charges. It means that we may be heading to another by-election again. Have you thought about that?
Yes, that's a good observation. And there will be a lot of financial cost to the nation.
Exactly. So I do not understand why
is it because the NDC don't have the men?
I think that they're doing this out of mischief. That is the best example I can give. Because we are selecting our candidate. There were so many other people in the NDC who had laced their boots and were ready to contest until somebody raised a red flag that the NDC even did not believe in Getty Kwesi's case, and for that matter, didn't select him to contest the elections. Then all of a sudden there was a U-turn. But I want us to know that as a country, when we talk about politics, we are talking about using ideas to bring about change and better the lives of people. So this is one thing that I want us to think about as a people. The financial, disadvantage.
That's right.
Yeah, that the NDC may, in the unlikely event, I think exactly. So let's apprise ourselves with some of these things.
All right, Honorable, finally, I want us to double into this particular hashtag Ken must go publication. Entire caucus will have to take a decision on finance minister, says the majority leader, Honorable Oseche Mensah Bonsu. Remember some months ago, some of your MPs took a stance that the current finance minister must be shown the exit or stop being the finance minister of Ghana. So far, the issue went dormant, but it has been revived. And so the majority leader had declared that they will have to take a decision, either the president taking a decision to hold them for a meeting or the caucus meeting and taking a decision. What's your take on this one?
My position on this is a bit divided.
Okay.
It's divided in the extent that Honorable the Finance Minister Oforiatta has done some amount of work so far as our control of the country has been. I believe that prior to COVID, Ghana's economy was one of the best performing until the the Ukraine-Russia issues came up. I think that our economy was resilient and our economy was growing. So at a point when our members of parliament agitated that the finance minister must go, I was asking myself that are they asking him to go on the basis of his performance prior to COVID and the Ukraine war, or they are asking him to go based on his performance during the COVID and then the Russia-Ukraine invasion. But then the other position that I hold is that they had a meeting with His Excellency the President regarding the finance minister leaving, because people felt at the point that when the finance minister left the scene, it was going to give some form of assurance to investors. It was going to give some form of assurance to the Ghanaian community. I don't know who will be coming, but these are the issues that came up. And the president says, you know what, we are before the IMF for a facility. So please allow the finance minister to finish the program. Once the program is done, then we can discuss his leaving. So I think that the president, as a man of his words, I think that is a right call for the members of parliament to go to him and say that you made us a promise.
Was the president specific that let him finish and I'll give him the sack, or
no? The president didn't. The presidency did not say he was sacked. They never used the word sack. The president felt that the finance minister should be given the opportunity, or Ghanaians should have the opportunity of the finance minister, because he had gone far in the negotiations. And so that's what the position of the president, that after the deal is done, then we can discuss his exiting. So I think that is a right call from the members of parliament, especially coming from the majority leader, because most of them are looking up to the majority leader, because the president made them a promise, and for that matter, it's right for the
to call for a meeting.
Majority leader to ask the president about the position on the matter. And I think it's a right call. But I think that a lot of discussions may have to go on regarding whether the finance minister would have to leave or whether the finance minister would have to stay. For me, if you ask me, at a point there was a free fall of the cedi.
That's right.
Is that the case now?
Now it's bouncing back.
At the point, the prices of fuel was galloping. Is that the case now? At a point, the price of goods and services, you go today, the next day you go and it's through the roof. Is that the case now? So they may have to look at some of these things, and then I think that the right decision will be taken regarding whether Mr. Ofori-Atta should leave or can continue with it.
Honorable, on a lighter note, will the new bomb affect the economy? Because they keep Russia keep throwing the bombs left, right, center.
I think that those people who followed the Russia-Ukraine invasion, if you are very dependent on somebody, sometimes you fail to make a plan B.
That's right.
Because you know that supply would come. But currently, most of the countries have adjusted. Most of the countries have found alternatives to what they used to be getting from Ukraine and other places. So, in as much as it would affect the world, the impact has been far mitigated.
That's right.
And that is the essence of what we are feeling and what we are seeing now.
All right. Honorable, finally, OSP arrested and placed Frimpong Boateng on a 2 million cedi bail. According to reports, Honorable Frimpong Boateng has been arrested about 2 weeks ago as part of investigations of corruption and corruption-related activities in the work of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining and Anti-Galamsey Task Force. Frimpong Boateng is currently on a 2 million Ghana cedi bail. Honorable, so far, this issue is gradually growing from one strength to another. We were here when he was invited and he was released. We were told that the police have started investigations into the whole saga. Recently, we heard that he has been invited again, but now he was really arrested and he's now on a 2 million CD bail. Your position on this one?
Chairman, I want to put on record that on this matter, my position is my personal opinion and not the position of the party.
That's right.
The first one is that for me, I have relatives in Dunkwa on Ofin. They live by the Ofin River, and yet they cannot drink from that river.
Meanwhile, in the days of old, that was our favorite
source of
drinking water.
Drinking water, fish, and everything.
That's right.
Do you understand? So when it comes to the issues of Galamsey, I feel that anybody who is culpable must be dealt with and must be dealt with ruthlessly. Some people do not understand the extent of the damage. Some people do not know how much it takes for a polluted water to be restored. And for that matter, they take the issue of Galamsey lightly. And I don't take it lightly at all. However, I feel that the office of the special prosecutor, if they're going to continue like this, it is in the interest of our country and the interest of our democracy that the office of the special prosecutor will be allowed to work without fear or favor. Because if a certain Professor Mpɔtam, who is larger than large, has been invited and arrested, then this should send shivers down the spine of quote and unquote the lesser known people and the least powerful people in the society about the operations in the area of Galamsey. The special prosecutor has done well. We don't want this to be reduced to NPP, NDC politics. I think that he should do his work without fear or favor, and it must be done professionally. And that is what I'm looking forward to. My other advice goes to Professor Mpɔtam. I think that he's a man of integrity. I think that he is a man who has achieved a lot for his country and wherever he has worked. He should not reduce this conversation to a conversation of the public opinion. If he feels that he has certain information about certain people who have made his work difficult and who are destroying water bodies or who are destroying land, I think that he has a perfect opportunity to present all of them to the special prosecutor and make sure that justice takes its right course. Going to the media, discussing a report which is already in the public domain does not help anybody. Unfortunately, in our country, a lot of people do not read. They get the headlines and they run with it. Mpɔtam says this, but they will not go and read the content and know the context and the basis for which that expression was made.
That's true.
So I am begging him. He's a man of integrity. I've worked with him before. When I worked in Central University, he was on our board. And you know, he's punctual, he has people at heart and everything. And I know that everything that was entrusted to him, he handled it with his heart. And for that matter, I feel that maybe he may be a bit pained that he did something diligently and the things have turned this way. He's used this opportunity to gather all the necessary documents and evidence that may be required for the special prosecutor to be able to either vindicate him or implicate all the other people who possibly should be implicated and jailed. And for that matter, I think that will be a step in our fight against Galamsey, and it will be a landmark case for all of us.
So no respecter of persons when it comes to the law.
I think that Montesquieu has made this, said this several years ago, that ignorance of the law is no excuse.
That's right.
And for that matter, the law cannot even respect anybody. You understand?
That's right.
The law is the law. Ignorance should not be an excuse. How big or how small you are in society is on the face of the law. All of us are equal.
Donald Trump.
So I think that this should be the special prosecutor should be given the necessary support and encouragement to be able to carry this to the latter.
That's right. Honorable, your final words.
My final word is that we're going to ascend north for elections.
That's right.
When it comes to elections, and particularly by-elections, people don't take a lot of interest in it. They feel, oh, it's just a by-election. But the development of every constituency starts from the person you present in parliament. If the person is not able to speak for your constituency, if the person is not able to lobby for the constituency, you realize that other closer constituencies will be developing, but your constituency will be lagging behind. I know certain constituencies that have been a stronghold of some parties. If you go there, it is nothing to write home about. So this time around, I'm encouraging all the people in Assin North to go out in their numbers and to go and vote for a candidate who can bring development to the people of Assin North. Right. And I'm suggesting to them that Charles Opoku, who all of them or most of them have attested that he's tried and tested his humility, his affable, his commitment to the community is there. So they should go out in their numbers and go and vote. People talk about financial inducement left, right, center. I think this should be a topic that one day you will have opportunity of discussing. I think that to say that you want someone to give you money before you go and vote, that is when people take you for granted.
That's right.
If you are able to vote when you are not induced, the next time when they go to parliament, they know that as for my people, they vote based on personalities, they vote based on issues, they vote based on development. And for that matter, if he's not able to bring what the people want, he will go.
All right.
So I think that's the advice I'm giving to my people. They should go out in their numbers and go and support our candidate, Charles Opoku, and they will see the level of development that will be coming to us.
Honorable, thank you for speaking to us.
My pleasure, Senior.
We are grateful. Honorable Jesse Appiah. He is the coordinator for the NPP Greater Accra. He's the coordinator for the MPP. All right. David Santos.
Attorney General.
Bokodie.
I see Bokodie.
And then some not doors can in boom ne cabin uncle.
Okay, with the mention quick one because
and Nakasa you reloaded.
Yes.
Today we've had time to talk to a lot of our resource persons.
Exactly. Attorney.
Yes, sir.
If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Yeah.
Hey, you and your codes.
Oh, of course. Hey. This is the only place that we don't take
brofo for granted.
Yes.
And proverbs in near you.
Yeah. And we give you quality education as well without taking any.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
We give you accurate reportage.
That is it. Yeah. And do you know something too? An important way to keep growing is to never stop thinking or never stop asking questions. Yes.
It's only a fool who doesn't ask questions.
Yeah. So we ask questions based on the people that we have at hand.
And we always do proper research.
That is it.
Before we go on the ground to ask questions. Yeah.
So, Attorney, let me start from our reporter, our colleague, who, because of the election, he has to go there from yesterday. Yeah. He was there.
Now, Papa Law Radio, we are growing.
Yeah, we'll grow.
We are growing.
We'll overtake everyone. And so we'll chalk the rest.
That's right.
Like chalk.
That's right.
So that is it. He also gave us a nice report. Everything that we got to know, he reported on that for us. Right. And I told you that politics is a game of thrones. You have to understand it.
That's right.
If you listen to what our reporter gave it to us, he said they were grooming Freeman, but they realized that no, where the thing is going,
strategy.
for you to win election, you don't need experience.
Oh, this one has been the party for long, so
No.
You look at the one who will bring the numbers.
Yes,
that's amazing.
That is amazing. And the
IPP is very strategic.
That is, I told you from the beginning.
Yeah.
That when it's
told the guy has made a lot of investment. He has how do you call it, a foundation that takes care of a lot of people. In fact, his very abode or house had been used before as the district assembly office.
Yeah.
You know, when the constituency was separated from the Asin Central.
That's true. Yeah, so that is how they are able to look at they what they do is that they sit down, they look at how the thing is going quickly, then they take a step.
Decision.
Yes, and so that is how it's supposed to be. He even agreed, Honorable JC Apia agreed to it, just that he doesn't want to. He said he cannot tell you the strategy that is it. Politics, you have to understand.
That's the first strategy they have.
Yes.
I mean,
and it has worked for them.
Yeah. And it has changed the narrative. If you follow more of these political pundits, researchers and all that, they have now revised their notes saying, now this is going to be a keenly contested, parliamentary election ever to hit our doorsteps. Interestingly, he brought another analogy that this is the first by-election in Ghana where the candidate whose issue had caused the by-election is alive. And it's Jachikwe. Most of the by-elections that have happened is after the demise of the then maybe a parliamentary candidate. But this time, Jachikwe is alive.
He's alive.
And he is the same candidate the NDC is presenting. So the NDC too has been a bit strategic by presenting Jachikwe for the mere fact that he already has the people who voted for him. And so why should we change the winning team? Let's maintain him, but there is a risk attached to it. The risk is that the perjury charges and the lies, lying to a public officer and all that can be pressed against him, and when found guilty, he can be in prison, and there will be another by-election. That's where we are looking at.
That question you ask is very intelligent
and
question.
A time will come, maybe we'll have to waste another money Ghana's money, little resources. The bombs are being thrown left, right, center in Russia
again,
in Ukraine, and we'll keep going down. I mean, economically. So you go ahead.
Attorney.
Yes, sir.
The by-election that will happen on 27th of this month at Asin now is going to be tough like toffee. It's
tough like toffee.
Yes. It's not going to be easy. And so we thank our colleague, our reporter, Kweku Efriye, for giving us an update.
He was detailed.
Yes. I like him very much. And then let's come back to His Excellency John Apia, my own daddy.
That's right.
Give us a delivery.
Excellency.
I know you are convinced. Are you convinced now?
I'm convinced.
You can't have this man educating you. That's and right. At the end of the day.
In fact, today he taught us a lot.
Yes.
My perception about peer pressure was actually different.
Yeah.
I felt it's about the teens up to maybe
so everyone
adults,
is
not knowing even the old men, Abrewa Mafia and Old Man Boogie, all those people can have peer pressure.
But always the one that we learned in the social studies. I think my father should be writing books and we should give it to our people in the schools. The one that we have is a cake, and so we have to abolish them. And so he give us a lot of details into this peer pressure education on that. But the one that I would like to touch on is the the negative way, the solution. He said you have to be strong enough to say no to negative peer pressure. Yes,
most people,
yes,
men and women in relationship, in marriage, we don't know when to say no.
That is
friendship. You can't give the money to your friend, but you are still promising. You can't say no, I don't have it. I like white for one thing. When you talk to them, Can you help me with so
I
amount?
can't.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't. But a Ghanaian man, typical African.
Let me see what I can do.
Yes. You call me today, call me tomorrow, call me. That is why I hardly ask people.
So that is it. You have to be strong enough to say no to negative peer pressure. And then also he said the environment in which you are living, when you see that the pressure there is too much, and he cited a good example. He said you are in a car. A lot of people are saying that you are late. Driver, so do you ever no or catch us out best wow undru ye
nancy later obeye wo share the stress out before be kra usika krasa
no
you know sometimes the risk
no wasi help us ateni no wasi
life is precious.
Yes.
If we are said they do an sweat.
Now dear as a kasado do on jai and to dear catchers of one was one. And so he made mention of say peer pressure and yeah baby I think say maybe get to any do something. It happens at mostly at our workplace, churches. Yes. He made schools and all that.
Born in 70 also be
Bobby. Our parliament house
nina obi buttons are not done in the phone say
yes, so that is it there. So we have learned a lot from His Excellency John Appiah, giving us a deep detail into this peer pressure aspect. And let me end with our colleague Ohiniba report. Attorney, do you know something?
Tell me.
I will tell you. This one is a quick one. Then we go. We have a lot of issues. Ashama, I don't know, but they are taking this constituency
for granted.
Too much.
All they want is their vote.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah, but attorney, ansana problem wo Ghana hanmu. Ayi se nyame fa some strategy bisu na oma volcano ebe fa omo amutrimu dipesem kuminyamfo ni omo a omunya sika no mani abre no I say volcano opeb ekwan bi so
erupt
na ebe form
sheda kofi fast enkrofo ni fie.
See, you tell me one gutter that is being constructed in this country that is big on our major road.
When you see the video, you cry.
I have seen it.
It's a huge, a wide, a road.
Yes.
With little and very
small gutter. Attorney, money is being allocated for them to go for a professional contractor. But person kuminyanti omakofa Messi.
That's right.
Road. Messi or constructee.
It's only
mostly so omu work when omu constructee gata omu ye omu tade that should tell you say they are not contracted because contractor all you need tade all you so we value air constructing road that is bad but adwinboninti any person kuminya money ntinu money na ye allocated for contractor no why so ntinu they will go in for a mercy to go and do the work. There's no one single road apart from ABR colleague on Okono and as a road no gata no big akra.
Wow, sure.
And we know the bureaucratic behavior we are having in this country. And what doing cry and Master said Debbie, we should construct big gutters so that the problem be bad, we will not have too much problem. And so I tell you, there's one day basketball is not for Aki and Popo.
Basketball is not for Aki and Popo. Some Ghanaians are typically bushyatic villagers. Let's live right. Timpa, yes, say, Ahunya politicians, Mate. Uncle Atunya Mishira. Good morning, and Patriot say, God keep you and protects you. One of the great worshippers of our time. And you with your boy, Papa, Uncle Atu. 21 guns salute. All right, God bless you. God keep you and protect you. I came, I saw, and I conquered. Straight up, don't crooked up. God bless you, my producer, GH, my co-host, David Santos, great team player, Madam Gifty Anane. God bless you and keep you and protect you. All right, God bless all staff and management of Papalo Media. God keep you and protect you. Might be a year for me no me nuara, in ye year for me no me nuara. Nanaba Anna, Lady Kenzie next on your radio with mid-morning brew. Afterwards, we'll go for the 12 midday news. We'll have Kofi Yesu, another heat. And then we'll have Cheselina on your radio. Today, radio will be sweet. The drive time will be sweet because we will have great musician passing through. Yesterday was lit. Today will be fireworks. It's gonna be a classical experience. Don't miss Pillow Drive with Cheselina. God bless everybody. Shabak. Richard Kojofu. Onyamishira onyokesiye. Omo ebraye. Nyame moye ondumiye. Ochina akoko bon kokro kwa ye besa betra Ghana hodo ene hodo nti ye besa betra fidie so me did the Papa Law Perfect odi o share me afreme Papa Law Perfect, the navigator of the airwaves. I came, I saw, and I conquered. And when you say a prayer, say one for me too. Straight up, don't crooked up. I'm out.